Activate. Activate. G'day, g'day, g'day. RLCS is back. OCE is back. It's been, 6 months at this point in time, and we are ready to go once again. Fortress Global coming in clutch in the final moments to get this all sorted so you guys can watch the best region of Rocket League. Formal is here once again, as per usual at this point in time. Morgie, welcome back as well.
Thank you, Yummy. Happy to be here.
Yeah, super excited to be back. Still don't know how they keep finding my email address. I keep trying to change it, keep trying to hide. They keep bringing me in. And no, excited to be back for another season, and this time starting from the first regional.
A few more grey hairs, Formal. Has there been a stressful off-season?
I'm just old, man. I'm just a boomer. Like, it's happened. It's going to happen to all of you watching along at home, all right? This is the scary
any grey
future.
hairs for you, Morgie?
Depending on how this night plays out, depending on how the teams play, maybe a couple by the end of tonight.
Speaking of, the format has changed, everyone, and that's a lot more stress at certain times for some teams and maybe a little less for others as we have moved into the AFL final format here, and also we're going straight into the playoffs. The top 8 is now very important across every region. You can't get away with sneaking into the top 16 to get on stream. You have to really work for it. And as you can see, Morgie, if you're in that upper bracket, you get that extra chance and you can go straight into the top 4.
That's the thing I genuinely really enjoy about this format. I know there's been a lot of discussion, or I've had a lot of discussion with people about, which format is the best. I don't have an opinion on which is the best, but I do really like this one because it makes getting into that top 4 all the more important. Obviously, the teams in the lower bracket as well, they only have one life, so they're fighting for their lives immediately off the bat today, whereas that top 4 do have a little bit of a buffer.
I think it's just any format that rewards success I'm going to be a fan of. You're winning your games. You deserve that extra cushion. You deserve that extra elimination. And already it's kind of crazy to think we have 4 teams guaranteed in the top 6 before we kick off our top 8 games. Everybody in that upper bracket, they're already in the upper echelon of the teams here in OCE, and it's the teams on the bottom half that have to put in a good showing if they want to set themselves up for the future regionals.
Now, we will be rushing into the games very shortly, but a little chat on the teams that are here. You've seen a lot of them in the off-season, the RLO Grand Slam, but Wildcard is that X-Power roster. They're back together. Banana Head has returned to the team, so they're the team certainly to watch out for. TSM, that was the New Jeans roster, if I recall they were called.
Yes.
And they won the off-season tournament, so they're a huge one to look out for up there as well. Healthy Chiefs, they've brought in Raziers, exciting to see up there, and of course Power are back with the Kib Gang roster. But we head down now to the lower bracket. We are looking at Oi 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 versus Walk-In Fridge. A very vital battle as, well, Walk-In Fridge, they managed to walk in here in a very difficult scenario, Morgie. Are they able to continue on?
It'll be difficult to see. I guess, we were chatting about this before. They hadn't actually won any games yesterday against any of our other teams in the top 8 we're going to see today. They did beat GZ, which I think was quite the feat as well. But ultimately, they did get swept by Wildcard and Strawby. So, sorry, I love Strawby. So I don't know. I think that this might be a difficult series for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming up against the improved HSP roster, some may say. I suppose time will tell. Oi, 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 coming through. Rumor has it that, Baz took my advice on the correct sauces for an HSP, Morgie. Wanted to put the tomato sauce on, got kicked. I did not get kicked. I can't say that, but they're no longer on the team after the tomato sauce. What can I say? So they're bringing in Prompt, the prodigy from last season, played a lot of games for Ground Zero, 2 top 4s, hoping to kind of elevate this old HSP roster to higher highs.
2 top 4s and a stack of top 8s as well. Prompt has definitely come into RLCS as one of those young guns, absolutely swinging. But off the bat, Zombie's going to score off a whiff from Fades. Almost got to the ball in time, but didn't quite get enough on that.
Yeah, I mean, just a good touch from Zombie. And again, we're kind of straight into the action, so we couldn't go too hard into the predictions. Oi, oi, oi. They might be the favorites in this, but if there's a reason to believe in Walk-In Fridge, Zombie Freak, veteran in the scene, came back towards the end of last season and has only been improving during the offseason. Very impressive in a lot of those offseason events, already finding the first goal here.
Yeah, I did, obviously with the team streams, without a main broadcast yesterday, there were a lot of team streams, and Formula, I was tuned into yours for quite a bit there, and I heard you talking about Zombie. What have you kind of noticed in terms of Zombie being that really improved player on this roster?
Again, it's just been composure under those high-pressure defensive situations was the big thing that stuck out to me. When teams are shortening the field, Fades reset, not getting it through. But when teams have been shortening the field, when they've been able to just fire shot on target, shot on target, shot on target, Zombie has been one of the players who've been able to keep their composure, not overextending themselves, making sure that, safe touches defensively. And he's been one of the tougher defenders to break. Over the offseason, we've seen more of the offense come into play as well. So he's becoming more and more of a complete player once again, and I think that is somebody to play around on that side. However, this time it's Fades who gets the goal.
Nothing overly special about that one. Defense just caught a little off guard. A nice little tap from Misty. Fades just an easy shot near that far post to make this an equalized game.
Yeah, good shot and goal from Fades right there to get them equalized in this situation. And even though we're talking up Zombie Freak as well, should be worth noting Keckles also looked very impressive yesterday. A lot of talk around them. The big win Walk-In Fridge got was against Ground Zero in the first round, and Keckles was, according to Ground Zero, the caster, the big catalyst as to why.
Definitely something I heard around the mix yesterday. I didn't get to see much of their gameplay yesterday, but knowing that Keckles made a huge difference as well will be really interesting to see if he keeps that momentum up today. Will also be interesting to see if Swatchy steps up to the plate a little bit more, given all the hype is around Zombie and Keckles at the moment. Almost a scoring opportunity there, but not quite enough.
Yeah, we'll be excited to see how this Walk-In Fridge team performs. I think a top 8 for them on the first regional, probably hitting their expectations, and at this stage they're just trying to see how far they can go. Same cannot be said though for Oi Oi Oi. This is a lineup, Morgie, when I look at it, their aspirations should be top 4.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a roster that have had
to be the standout player.
It'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. I mean, the one thing to note on that last goal, we just had the cheat being Zombie Freak in that scenario, cheated up just a little bit too quickly. The kickoff being caught in the midfield didn't allow for him to get another touch on the ball, just playing a little bit too aggressive there. I feel like that it's a bit of a theme I feel like I noticed a lot yesterday. Formal was a lot of the teams, particularly the top 4 teams, but even the teams that are in our kind of our lower half of the top 8 have been playing super aggressive at the moment. And unless you're really used to that play style as a roster, it can be really detrimental at times.
And it's one of the places where I feel like Walk-In Fridge could struggle, because I look at this lineup and I feel like they're going to be almost one of the more, I don't want to say defensive or passive teams, but they're definitely a team that tends to play a lot more on their back half and look for those counterattacking opportunities. Case in point, Keckles nearly put a touch straight across the middle right there. But I'm here all for the aggression. Prompt, open net, double's going to get saved by Scorchy. Look at the power lineup last year, now the wildcard lineup. Remember how they played? How crazy aggressive Banana Head and Torsos constantly were with the bumps, with the infield passes. They went undefeated.
Yeah.
Not a surprise to see other teams start to try and mimic that.
Absolutely, but that's the old power roster, the wildcard roster now. They're so used to that playstyle. They mastered it. They had it pulled off to an absolute T, which a lot of these other rosters particularly in the lower half of the top 8, just haven't mastered quite yet. And maybe they will in future. Maybe there'll be some growing pains to begin with until they're able to play that aggressive playstyle. But I think a little bit more passive play will do them good right now.
Well, we'll see how it stands as we are right now. It is about to be official. Our very first game of the OCE 2025 season here on the mainstream. OCE takes game 1.
A massive win for OCE, and definitely the momentum they're wanting going into this first series against Walk-In Fridge. I think that was an excellent game. Fades in particular, we're looking at Fades. I'd say Fades was man of the match. Some really good goals. That double off the roof was critical to the team getting ahead in this match. So keen to see if they can keep that momentum going into the rest of the series. I think I said to you at the start of this, I don't know if we're going to have any sweeps tonight. There is a chance that OCE could pull it off here, but I do think Walk-In Fridge can pull it back and get a couple of games. If not, maybe stay in this series altogether.
I think there are 2 series that have a potential for a sweep this afternoon. This is the first one because as it stands, I mean, when you look at recent experience, yes, Walk-In Fridge may have been on the offseason putting in the work. Yes, they, have old school experience with Zombie. However, OCE has been a team that were like, all these players have been on that grind for multiple years. They've been playing at that top level. I mean, Big Jez, Misty, they've been there. They have been to those highest of highs. So I worry a bit for Walk-In Fridge. Again, this top 8 result for them has been fantastic. But if we were to be doing that tier list, right, at the start of the season, I probably would have had the Walk-In Fridge roster maybe a tier below. In fact, definitely a tier below OCE. So it feels like an uphill battle for them. And the 3 shots to 10 at the end of game 1 exemplified that. We'll see how game 2 falls.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I think I mentioned this before. I had a little look at the teams, the top 16 before yesterday played out, and this is not looking at seeding or anything like that. It's just looking at the top 16 teams in general. And I was fairly confident OCE would make top 8. I wasn't so sure about Walk-In Fridge, just given some of the other competitors that were knocked out of the top 8 yesterday. So I think I still stick by my word, especially seeing how the first game played out.
Hey, they took down Ground Zero, though. That was big. That win could not be understated. Shot on target will be saved out. So they earned their spot with that victory. I would say the rest of their bracket then became a little bit easier. But, it's one thing to get to the dance. It's another thing how you perform on the spot. And right now, we do need to see a bit more from Walk-In Fridge. Maybe they can walk in a goal. Misty going to put it up above the net. Not able to drop it in down below. No follow-up touches.
Misty, good control off the backboard there when offensive pressure was starting to creep up on him a little bit. Nice little drop down to punt as well. Keckles now with the ball down the opposite end, coming off the root. Doesn't quite keep control of that one. We're looking for a shot here from Fades. Goes a little bit too high. Zombie on the backboard, managing to get that one out.
Again, that play exemplifying both, the danger that is Fades finding these shots, and Zombie again on defense doesn't stay with the ball this time. Dangerous spot. Scorchy has to go above the net to prevent an own goal. Looks like it's going to be all right for now. Keckles with boost can make it clear. Back the other way. Has Zombie. Do they connect? No. Misty disrupts.
Cool, calm, and collected was Scorchy in that situation. That was looking very, very dangerous for OCE to capitalize with a shot there. Prompt. Sending a pass down to Fades. Can't quite get the double off the wall. Ball's going back down into the midfield. We're going to see Prompts now take it to the corner, try and keep a little bit of control, a little bit of boost in the tank. Going to send it down the field, but straight into the hands of Keckles.
Yeah, Keckles was able to collect. Fades challenge. Scorchy doesn't really go in either side's favor. That's the ball almost was the slowest goal you will ever see. Over 2 minutes into this game, Prompt again, the one leading the charge, can only go so far with it, but a swing and a miss on the sidewall could be an opportunity for somebody. It's actually OCE taking advantage of it, yet Zombie will clear it out. I mean, no real shots right now. A very passive game.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot slower than the first match we had, that's for sure. Keckles with the... Looked like it was supposed to be a pass. Maybe a little bit of confusion there. Prompt now taking the ball downfield. A 1v3 though. Can't get it off Scorchy.
Oh, all right. A demo. Doesn't really work out. Prompt and Fades on the hunt. Fades looks for the bump, doesn't find it, might not matter. Prompt double touchdown again. Zombie Freak's defense, Morgan, I'm telling you, he is a tough cookie to crack.
Okay, I can see what the hype was from yesterday before listening to you talk about on stream. We're starting to see it play out a little bit more now. That was definitely a great save. Prompt with a shot though. Another demo in net. No defenders inside, and Oi are up in the second game.
All right, Morgan, no rule. When I'm talking up a player, leave me to the talking of. The second you compliment Zombie Freak, the craziest goal of the day yet from Prompt to putting it in. Let's appreciate that goal, actually. The reset, the second touch off the sidewall. I don't know how many people are defending against that.
Even then, I feel like if we had a couple of defenders in net, then maybe. But the demo as well to make sure there was no defensive effort on that save absolutely made a difference there.
Yeah, that was a fantastic goal to break the deadlock scoreline, and now they're looking for more. Misty has Fades on the other side. Do they connect? Not this time. Keckles makes the save off the backboard, but we need to see more offensive pressure coming from this walk-in Fridge side. Not going to get it on this approach. Prompt's just too fast and efficient in clearing it back the other way.
Massive mechanical efforts coming out of Oi now. I feel like they're definitely showing off their mech a little bit more than walk-in Fridge have been. Keckles now with the ball, going to take it to the wall. A little bit of boost in the tank, starting to run out though. I think Prompt's noticing. Zombie comes in for the shot, goes a little bit too wide. And Oi back with possession.
1 minute remaining, and we still need to see more from the walk-in Fridge side. Pass down to Fades. That's going to be the second goal. Very confident play from Oi. Very controlled play, and now they've got a fine pathway to the 2-0 start.
Great pass from Fades as well. Zombie just not quite recognizing that Fades was creeping around the corner, ready for that pass, ready to send it in. 50 seconds left on the clock. It's not looking good for walk-in Fridge in this match.
No, it definitely is not. Prompt through the corner and barely finds Fades for a goal. Defense is going to make the save, but with just under 40 seconds remaining, very unlikely we see something crazy here. It's just not really been walk-in Fridge's style. They're going to have to reset. Looking forward ahead to Game 3 right now, Morgie. What do we want to see from this blue side to get them back in it?
Maybe a little bit more aggression. I feel like the aggression has been what Oi has been doing really well. Like I said, that goal before, you can't beat Prompt's mech right now, but the assisting with the demos coming out and with that aggression, with the bumps, just getting walk-in Fridge's defense out of the way has been great for Oi, and I'd love to see that out of walk-in Fridge as well.
We'll see if they'll be able to piece it together, but for now, Game 2 will come to a close. 2-0 lead for Oi. I think it's only fair with each win we add another Oi. Hopefully by the end of this, they will be Oi. Halfway to that goal. Prompt MVP, and I mean, they just, without sounding too cliche right now, Morgie, they look like the better team.
No, you're right. They're definitely outplaying walk-in Fridge right now, and you can see it by the shots on the scoreboard as well. I think we're missing one player, but I believe there were 4 shots on the board
they had
for
one
walk-in
shot.
Fridge.
It was only one shot from Keckles.
Okay, so a 4 compared to a 10-shot game, Oi have just been putting on that offensive pressure tenfold over walk-in Fridge, just blocking them in the midfield, not allowing them any opportunities to score themselves or even put too many shots on net. In saying that, the defense out of Oi has been really good as well. So it's tricky to say what walk-in Fridge need to do right now. Like I said, my opinion is that they need to step up their aggression just that little bit. And in terms of aggression, I don't necessarily mean in terms of their rotations. Third man should always be keeping an eye on that goal, but looking for those bumps, looking for those demos, I think that's going to be critical here. But I don't know, Formal, what do you think?
I just don't know. Those aren't tendencies that have frequented these players over the offseason. We'll see where we go from here. It's a tough ask for me, and it's why I'm not a coach, right? It's why I can be the Sunday morning quarterback. Don't ask me to plan ahead. That's up to the players. Let's see what they can bring. Prompt wants to lead the charge. Actually leads it for Fades, who will get the next touch around the corner. But something interesting, though, there was no real adaptation and change between Game 1 and Game 2, and that's what has me most concerned, I think, for walk-in Fridge. I mean, even the shot totals were the exact same. 10-4, 2 in a row. Fades, double touch. It's open, and it is clean.
That is a nice way to start off this Game 3, that's for sure. A nice bang from Prompt as well, all the way down the field. the lightest little touch from FaZe to keep that control, send the ball to the backboard, double it straight down into net. I think that's exactly what we expect to see from FaZe on a good day. And today is a good day for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, FaZe has just been hitting everything, and it's insane to think that someone playing as well as they are allowed that much space, that open of a backboard to work with. Obviously, they're going to take advantage of it. Love seeing how motivated this player is. And again, it's kind of nice, I feel like, as well, for the winner of this series, because they get that first series. It's done and dusted. They get to have the rest of the afternoon off to prepare for tomorrow. This is the start that you'd want to see if you are pulling for Oi Oi. Zombie Freak can't find the top corner. This opportunity there.
A few shots just going too wide there. I thought that was another wide shot, but apparently not. I think from the angle here, it was looking a little bit sketchy. Prompt with a bang, gets it over Scorchy as well into that top corner, top bins, and we have Oi Oi now up by 2.
Yeah, it didn't take long for that 2-0 lead, and I hope everybody, you know, if you were coming into this one rooting for the walk-in fridge, we're going to need your support now more than ever. On the back foot already. Game continues as it is. We're going to be looking at our first sweep situation, potentially. Opportunity perhaps for Zombie Freak here, though. Only gets it straight into Fade, so we'll start to clear it back to that other side. They are doing what you suggested, though, Morky. They are playing further forward this game. I have noticed, but it's just kind of come at the expense, unfortunately, of their defense. Opening for Scorchy. No, Misty from above.
They definitely need to be careful. I think, honestly, you know, you were speaking about a team that, you know, can adapt before, and I think that's something, it's a huge factor that separates the top 4 from the players who are sitting kind of more in that top 8 section, is their ability to adapt. And, you know, we saw it yesterday with the Chiefs game that you had, the Chiefs versus AXO. Initially 2 games down to AXO, but the brilliant thing about that roster is their adaptability. They changed their playstyle, they found a better rhythm as well, and they were able to reverse sweep a team, which is that's a bigger feat than just winning. And I think that really goes to show how impressive that roster is. Some of these other rosters haven't quite learnt to change up their playstyles and adapt as much yet. But I think once they do, and once they are able to adapt to different opponents' playstyles, it'll be a lot better for them.
It's okay. I have some theories. I have some ideas that I want to pick your brain about, because you said the reverse sweep is better than just winning. But
yeah,
what about the situation that you put you in the reverse sweep? Why do people treat like the reverse sweep is more impressive than like the clean 3-0 or the clean 4-0? Because you have to lose. You have to be in a bad spot to reverse sweep. But shouldn't we be like, no, the win is better?
I think the reason I find it more impressive to watch or to cast is because it shows a team's maturity, and it shows their ability to keep a really strong mental when under pressure. Because you look at these teams that, you know, the top teams with the opportunities to go to LAN, to go to majors, to go to worlds, right? That's a lot of pressure. That is more pressure to be on stage in front of a crowd with, you know, a lot more on the line than playing in opens or playing online. So that ability to have a really strong mental, I think, is something that's shown when you're in the situation where you have to reverse sweep, because you don't give up.
All right. Well, you know, I get where you're coming from, but I'd still rather 3-0. I'd still rather get the clean
that's
sweep.
fair.
I'd still rather win without the adversity. However, yes, to be a champion, you've got to expect it eventually. We'll see how much adversity Walk-in Fridge is going to be able to overcome. There's nearly a minute remaining in this game right now, and they have still yet to find a goal since the first game. Scorchy reset, might have it here. Fades denies. He even had Prompt in the background as well. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm looking at this series right now, and I guess it hasn't been a clean sweep yet, but oi, oi. They're looking very impressive.
Not just yet, but the interesting thing that I'm starting to notice was we're within the last 40 seconds of the match now, and you can see how further deep Oi Oi are sitting in defense. It's kind of, they're playing keepings off at the moment. They're making walk-in fridge press up. Like, we can see all 3 players of walk-in fridge right now so high in their offensive half. All Oi Oi have to do is bang it from their own net down the field to secure another goal on the board. And
that's just been reactive gameplay from sort of the rotations we saw coming from Walk-in Fridge at the start. They came into Game 3 playing further forward, playing more aggressive. Oi Oi. Now, soon to be Oi Oi Oi. We're like, yeah, okay, sure. We'll play further back. We'll counterattack on our own. And guess what? we'll still find ways to shut you out and give ourselves the win. 20 seconds remaining on the precipice of a 3-0 lead in the series, just like the scoreline we see now.
Yep. 10 seconds left, 3 goals. It's just not going to happen for Walk-In Fridge. They are going to the 4th game, 3 games down. They'll have to reverse sweep if they want to get this win, but with the way this match has been going, with the form OCE has been on, it's just not looking likely.
Yeah, not going to happen this time around. OCE becomes OCE, 1 game around from earning their 4th OCE and a trip to the top 6. A result that this team should be expecting. We do have a timeout, though, for Walk-In Fridge. I kind of feel like, Morky, they maybe should have done that the game prior, but hey, if anything is going to lead to a reverse sweep, the timeout buff might be that catalyst.
Absolutely. I agree that they could have benefited from that a little bit sooner. You don't want to be on the brink of potentially falling out of the tournament altogether before you call a timeout, but nonetheless, we are here. It's definitely the smarter move now than not calling it at all. I think that's fair enough, but it's also going to give OCE a break to chat as well, to talk about what they've been doing right, to see if they want to change anything. I don't think they should be changing anything. They've been playing so well, and each game we've had a different player shine. We've had goals from all 3 players. We've had saves from all 3 players on OCE. They're just working like a really well-oiled machine right now.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate for Walk-In Fridge because they got the more aggression that last game. I mean, they nearly tripled their shot counter. They had more shots in Game 3 than they did in Games 1 and 2 combined. I mean, that says everything you need to say, but it didn't translate to more points. It didn't translate to more goals. They just haven't been able to either crack the defense or sustain the aggressive offense. And when you're losing on 2 fronts in a game with only 2 fronts available, those are the toughest series to win, Morgie. In fact, dare I say, those are impossible to win usually.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No, it'll be a very, very difficult task for them to pull anything back now. Like I said at the start, I still believe that they could do a little bit of damage. I did go into this thinking that OCE was the stronger roster. There were some moments where Walk-In Fridge was looking good. They're just a little bit shakier. They don't have that consistency that OCE has been showing as well. So this is not looking good for them right now. I'll say that.
It's not the best position for OCE. A win here, though, will do them wonders. The winner of this match will go up against the loser of the Healthy Chiefs and Power. With the expectation, I suppose, we'll see how that one plays out. I would imagine Healthy Chiefs, though, would be the favorite in that matchup, and we could be getting an potential OCE Power matchup in the future. That would be fun.
No, I think that'd be a good game, actually. Very different play styles. It'd be interesting to see. Misty now caught in the midfield with the ball. The ball's going to go to the corner. Full boost in the tank, going to take it upfield again. Zombie lurking here, trying to take the ball off him. Sorry. I mean, I said the wrong player just then. Yeah. I heard Keckles in the corner as well. Loses possession. Scorchy looking to block a shot from Prompt. No boost in the tank. Can't get a shot on net.
I think it's interesting to note, though, if the shot will come down, Zombie Frink will save it on the line. I mean, Healthy Chiefs look good, obviously. They swept TSM.
Ooh.
I would still rather be on this side of the bracket as Fades gets the first goal.
Little bit of panic on this one. 1/1/2, and into the corner past Zombie as well, who couldn't make it to that save in time. OCE have been doing really well for them, I will have to say, on getting a goal really, really early on in each game. 30 seconds into this match, and they've already got one on the board. Just having that momentum and that comfortability puts them in a better spot in later in the match.
Get the 50 goes in Misty's favor. Prompt will follow it up, and I was about to say, with a 1-goal lead, it opens so many more play styles that you can kind of explore and experiment with. With a 2-goal lead, it's like that playbook opens one page further right now. All of the tools at the disposal of OCE. They can go whichever direction they want, and well, where they want to go right now is above the net. Misty down below, can't get it past Keckles.
Almost another shot on the board. Sorry, almost another goal on the board within the first minute of this game. That would have been a great buffer for OCE to have had. I think we've talked about this before, Formal, where it's like a 1-goal buffer should not be relied on. That is a dangerous thought to have, to think that 1 goal is going to save you in a match. 2 goals as a buffer, you're getting there, but I think it's still it's still a little bit dangerous to think that 2 goals is going to be enough. I think 3 goals, it's pretty well GG's. All you have to do is make sure the other team doesn't score. You don't have to focus so hard on getting more goals on the board yourself. But I think if OCE can get 3 goals up in the next minute, it'll be really hard for Walking Fridge to come back.
Comes Keckles around the corner. Will get demoed for their effort. A chance to make it a 1-goal game. Again, Prompt will deny. And here comes the shot. Scorchy again makes a save on the line. Fades. Bump on Keckles. And now Prompt will try to clear things out. Only goes so far with it. I think an underappreciated element. Hold on. Zombie. Bouncing shot. Can't get it past Fades. This pressure just stay relentless right now. Oh, Walk-in Fridge, they really need this goal, but the defense is too strong.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm really liking seeing this a little bit more controlled aggression from Walk-in Fridge right now. The ball didn't leave OCE's defensive half for a good 30, 40 seconds there. The pressure was immense coming out of Walk-in Fridge, but the shots just aren't going on target half the time. The other half of the time, they are on target. They're a little bit too slow. They're a little bit too easy to save. OCE was getting a lot of saves in that situation, but nothing really stretching them too far either.
And nothing going crazy, although Zombie with that 50 nearly puts it in. You know, a point I wanted to bring up is the fact that like an underutilized element of Prompt's gameplay that I think a lot of people sometimes overlook is their defensive capabilities. And while, yeah, they made the first couple saves in that exchange, it was Fades who was coming up big. And Fades, I've never really known Fades as, you know, that player to come up clutch on the defensive side of the ball, yet there you are. So, I mean, they're looking like a complete team. 2 minutes remaining, 2-goal lead, and they are just stopping everything. Even the bump can't stop Big Misty right there from making the save.
Fades has put in a spectacular effort, and again, looking back at that old roster, that old HSP roster, I feel like Fades was never a bad player. None of these players are bad players, but I feel like the potential we've seen out of him recently, particularly today, in the off-season as well, just getting better and better with each tournament that goes on.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think outside of the 1 goal we got from Zombie at the very start of this series, it has been goose egg cinch. A chance to break that now. Zombie went too low. Another missed opportunity for the Walk-in Fridge. Now Keckles off the roof, double touch, straight into Fades. Defense continues to hold. 1:10 remaining. Oi. So cool, calm, collected, under pressure on the attack. 1 minute away from a trip to Super Sunday and the top 6.
That shot from Keckles as well, just going a tiny bit too wide. Misty with 0 boost in the tank. If it was a little bit more on target, maybe that could have been a shot on the board for Walk-in Fridge. But I think the interesting thing, Paul, is this game, we have seen more aggression out of Walk-in Fridge this game, more controlled aggression. The shots on the board, I mean, last time I checked, they were almost equal. We're actually seeing more shots now out of Walk-in Fridge than OCE have had, but OCE's shots have just been so much more calculated.
I mean, I don't think we've seen a shot from OCE in the past, 2.5 minutes, but they haven't needed it. They've just been looking fine where they are, not overextending, keeping the rotations there. If a counterattack opportunity presents itself, might as well take it. Zombie runs disruption, and Scorchy with a chance. Misty will let it ride, but gets demoed. Doesn't matter. Nobody was there in the time. It's not on their side anyways, Morgie. This is going to be it. OCE will advance.
They will indeed, and very well deserved as well. I don't think anybody watching this series today is going to doubt that OCE deserved that win. They were playing at their absolute, I mean, maybe not even their peak, but they were playing incredibly. Fades in particular, lots of really great shots on the board. Misty as well. Prompt, I feel like I said before, a very well-oiled machine. They all stepped up when they needed to. But Fades, I have to say, that was a great performance from him.
Yeah, one of the better performances we've seen. Yummy. Fades. Maybe not the player we were highlighting at the start, but definitely someone to be watching moving forward into tomorrow.
Well, he's certainly been a player who I think in the past had high expectations, may have even been, you know, that Prompt sort of idea just a year ago or a little bit more than a year ago. Maybe didn't apply himself as much then, and obviously has put in the work now. I do have to point something out. Just before the stream started, Morgie, you said that we're not going to get any 4-0s today, and I said, what about the very first series? Well, what's going on?
I had a little bit of belief. Like I said, I didn't I still thought the win was going to go to Oi, but the fact that Walk and Fridge took out GZ, I think that's a great roster as well. I don't know. It's hard to pick this top 8 at the moment, but I did think they'd take a game. They didn't take a game. There's been a sweep. I've eaten my words.
The tier list is too
We'll see if there's anyone. It's going down now.
The teams on the tier, every tier, it's just it feels like there's a little bit of a gap between each kind of tier where we maybe put these teams in bubbles. And yeah, Walk-in Fridge is that bubble below, unfortunately, where Oi is, and we saw it on the screen here today.
Yeah.
Well, they still managed to make it onto the stream, but Oi will be the ones moving through into top 6. Following this break, we're going to be watching I Love Strawby up against AXO, so stick around for the next lower bracket match.
Activate. Activate.
With one sweep in the books, we've already been delivering something that was promised not going to happen. That's how unpredictable OCE Rocket League is, and we're gearing up now for our second lower bracket matchup, Yummy. I Love Strawbee, worst name in the tournament, about to go up.
Are you sure
AXO.
it's I Love Strawbee and not I Loved Raw Bee? You know, it's hard to know. There's no spaces in there as per Luna's request, so we don't actually know which word is which.
Morgie, what is it? You're good at grammar. You're good at English. Tell me, I can't read.
I jumbled this name so many times when I was looking at my notes. Not just, I mean, there's a couple of things that I jumbled, a couple of team names I jumbled. This was definitely one of them.
Strawbee. There we go.
I'm just going with straight Strawbee at this point. I'm getting rid of the I Love just to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, I Love Strawbee versus AXO this next one.
It's a really interesting matchup. Obviously, Luna and Laxon teamed up last RLCS with Bao, Morgie. I had to look that one up, who it was. I could not remember. Maybe Caleb, who's been having a great off-season, great in 1v1 especially. And these three did have a really good RLO Grand Slam. So we've got this, team that realistically should be making top 6, maybe even some top 4s. And then we've got, of course, Zenulus on AXO, who always manages to get those top 6s.
There's just some players in OCE. I was kind of talking about this the other day, where it's like you're running late and getting a roster together. Give Zenulus a call if you're a top 8 competitive team. If you're a top 16, give Morse a call. He'll probably be able to help you out. Like, there are just these guys who always seem to plug and play in different rosters and find success, Zenulus being one of them. Caleb almost kind of becoming another one of those ones as well. You mentioned the grind he's been putting on in that offseason 1-to-1s event. The one last thing that I'm kind of curious on, Morky, when you look at this team, we've seen the high highs from I Love Strawberry, but we've also seen the low lows from the players as well. Where do they fit? Where do you think this lineup goes?
Where do I, as in within the top 8, where do I think this lineup sits?
Well, you can't ask him that question.
Now
We've
he's gone.
gone into the game, Morgie. Let's get this underway. And I will say one thing. Zenulus always making that top 6. I don't know. We haven't seen too much of Volty or Nasty in RLCS so far. So they're the big question marks on whether they'll be able to perform. They did very well yesterday.
Yeah. I did have a little bit of a peek earlier. Volt, not any huge placements. Nasty, a couple of top 8s early on, a couple of top 16s as well. So again, not the highest of placements from either of those two players. Zen, obviously a very talented player. Freestyle, mechy keyboard player as well. So
we love a good keyboard player.
Do we love a good keyboard player?
We love it, especially if they don't use mouse. Look, anybody can have mechanics when they use a controller, right? But when you see a car like turning on a dime, 100% turn or 0%, you got something special. And we've had some pretty successful keyboard players coming out of Sam. Drafinio is, as far as I recall, KBM.
Oh, really?
So maybe that'll be the secret sauce. Of course, we are very early stages. Shouldn't be talking too much international just yet.
I mean, even in OCE, then Torsos being a keyboard player as well, who's had a great amount of success in this region. So I guess don't knock it till you try it. I have tried it. Keyboard's not for me. I couldn't drive, let alone... I obviously, it would take a bit of time to practice. I can see the benefits of it, that's for sure, but...
Mate, but you can't drive even when you have a controller, so...
I thought you were going to say full stop. I was like, I'm a great driver. Hang on a sec. It
would be pretty hypocritical of me because I don't have a car right now, so I can't drive. We are getting towards the 2-minute mark and still no one breaking the tie until Luna, of course, comes through. The age-old veteran Luna manages to get the pass from Caleb. He sat up there nicely for that pass.
Catching defense from AXO, a little bit lacking. Definitely playing that aggressive playstyle, pressed all the way up the field. I think, just watching the games yesterday from the team streams, Yummy, this AXO roster, and I've got to address it. I'm probably going to address it a few times throughout the night. We had a little bit of a chat before, but the fact that they took Chiefs to Game 5, they made Chiefs have to reverse sweep. It goes to show that this roster does have some potential.
See, I would believe you, and I thought that too when I just looked at the bracket. But then you look at the fact that they go 7-0, 7-1, 7-2 in that reverse sweep, and you start thinking, oh man, like were Chiefs just asleep for a couple of those ones? Were they looking too much at how to change their name to have healthy in it, and how to pronounce healthy because you want to pronounce it with a TH?
Yep.
But I don't know. I can't really take that series too much into account. But I think this is that series where I guess maybe decides even what that previous one meant, whether they are truly going to be a team that can take down, the likes of Chiefs in future. Look at that. Volty getting on the board, the first one for AXO here on stream.
Don't know whether that shot was intentionally wide from Nasty, but nonetheless manages to fake defense out, and we do have a tied game. Yummy, when I said before, I love Strawberry is not the only team name I've had struggles with. Healthy was the other thing I was thinking of. I keep going to say healthy. It feels wrong to say healthy. They're the Chiefs. Chiefs, I'm going to stick with the Chiefs. That's about it.
I would have thought it'd be a little bit easier because, you know, there's nothing healthy in video games, am I right? Or at least not a lot of us touching too much grass these days. But, you know, we do have to say a big shout out to Jaden for finally switching the UI. Big credit out to him and the production crew who's I Love Strawberry over on the orange team. AXO on the blue. Nasty looking for another one as Volty is there in the corner, has the backup. Just trying to apply some pressure. Unfortunately bumping each other right there, and that's allowed the counter-attack.
I think just going back to that series, almost a shot on. Laxon there for the cleanup as well.
Just the team bump leading to this goal. It just hurts.
Yep. Oh, Volt just couldn't get to that second save. Going back to that series from yesterday that AXO had against the Chiefs, I was watching, and I think you're right. The Chiefs definitely stepped up a little bit, and you know, as Formal and I were talking about earlier, they are that incredibly adaptable roster, especially with Raziers in the mix as well. They can adapt their play style depending on their opponents, and that really does make a great team. I think the thing that AXO did catch them off guard with, to their credit, at the start was just that disruption kind of style of gameplay, and I think that's something that Zen's really good at. He looks for those bumps, looks for those demos, looks to create a little bit of chaos and throw any defense out of whack. I think that did catch the Chiefs off guard a little bit. That combined with, you know, we did see a few kickoff goals as well. I think ultimately a few kickoff goals in the first couple of games to Volt. So they caught Chiefs off guard early, but that kind of disruptive play can really get in the team's head.
Zenulus has become a very well-rounded player, but it hasn't quite been enough just yet. Zenulus almost sinking one in to bring them into overtime, but it looks like I Love Strawberry will get this down and take game one. Maybe a little bit more dicey than they would like, but as we've seen in the past, they are a team that can warm up through the series.
It was almost looking like we were going to have an equalizer right on the last dying seconds of that game there. Almost went OT, but I Love Strawberry just too tight in defense to make sure they take out this first game one win. Looking at the scoreboard now, not a whole lot of shots on the board for I Love Strawberry, so good conversion on their goals as well. AXO did have 11-12 shots on the board with only one sinking, so I think that's a massive credit to I Love Strawberry's defense as well.
I just want to also point out, Jaden was yelling at us furiously earlier, saying that if we want to be able to spectate in the game, we have to ready up immediately. And you know what? He should be dishing out fines. We're now waiting on Luna and Laxon just to press a little tick next to their name. So hopefully we get Jaden on that one. But maybe a bit of strategy talk after the first game. Maybe would have liked to get a few more shots on the board because AXO managed to get quite a little pressure throughout that game. And I think they're going to be comfortable. You know, as we talked about, Zenulus has been an all-round player. He's also taken much more of a leadership role on his more recent teams. So I think he'll be content with how they played, and it's just about conversion rate on their shots.
Absolutely. And I can see Zen fitting into that role really quite well as a player. Seems to be quite level-headed, seems to fit on many different rosters, like I said before. And to me, it's kind of... I see Zen and Caleb in the same sense as, you know, one's players, obviously Zen being like the freestyle player as well, just the ability to fit onto many different rosters. I think that really lends to him being a good leader on this team as well.
Certainly good experience here for Volty and Nasty. We'll see what they are able to get out of. We've seen a lot from Zenulus on the attack so far. We'll need to maybe see him able to take out more than one player. He's been very good at kind of dribbling it over one and getting it to the backboard. May need to open it up a little bit more if they want to be scoring more than one goal in the game. Going to hang out in the defense right now for I Love Strawberry. As you can see, AXO very keen to hold a more midfield line. They're challenging the ball early. This is the first time they're in a tough spot in defense as Zenulus on low boost looks to get that one out and won't be able to follow it up because of that. And Laxon is going to collect it out for Luna. Volti still holding that midfield line, doing it well, not trying to overcommit just yet. And actually, great touch there from Zenulus. Just to give himself a bit more room. Has the first play and the second. Takes out Luna. Caleb has to do a lot, and he saves the day.
Just manages to get to that one in time. But I think we're starting to see a few cracks out of I Love Strawberry. We're seeing a little bit more control out of AXO. Managing to keep the ball nice and close in a few of these scenarios. Zen before almost having that result in a goal as well. Caleb getting blocked by Zen, goes to the backboard. Laxon has to get to it, whiffs, but so does the shooter as well. Luna looking for a shot all the way down the other end, goes to the backboard, but the ball's going to go back to the midfield.
Get a panic on defense, and that could be costly. It's put the players out of position here in the defense, and Luna will capitalize. They got a bump, they got a boost steal, they got them into all sorts, and it was left all to Nasty in a pass play. And you know what? If you want somebody to shoot top bins, Luna is probably one of your best bets.
Beautiful positioning, beautiful pass down from Caleb to Luna as well. Bar down, that is a difficult goal to save, that's for sure. And we're almost going to see an immediate fire back from Caleb to secure another one on the board. Goes a little bit too high and the ball does bounce out.
And, you know, we're seeing a lot of good stuff from AXO. They're playing a very controlled game. But unfortunately, when you do that, you can't afford to make the mistakes. You can't afford to be bumped out of the play. You can't afford to have your boost stolen. So they're going to have to maybe create a little bit more chaos here as Laxon is the one to get the 50, the success right in the middle. It's awkward, and a team pinch manages to just save it out.
Going back down the other end, Volti with control now, takes it to the corner, can't get it past Luna though. Low boost in the tank, needs to handball it off to Laxon. Goes to the wall, but ultimately puts it in the hands of Zen. Lots of boost in the tank. What's he going to do? Takes it to the corner, can't get the pass off though.
It's very much a one-man offense attempt coming out from AXO so far, with Zenulus being the one trying to go for a lot of solo plays in the corner and see if it works out. It's a very risk-free strategy as his two teammates are holding back. And, you know what, I will say fair enough. It is their first RLCS on the main channel. But it's put a lot of pressure here on Zenulus, and he hasn't been able to perform against the might of Caleb here. He's got the second goal.
Demo coming out on Luna as well. Not the most threatening player in that scenario, but nonetheless, we have had I Love Strawberry.
Oh, here we go.
Again, almost looking very dangerous there from AXO. Luna manages to get it out though, going down the field, zero boost in the tank. Caleb's looking for the bump, can't get it. Pass off to Laxon as well. Maybe a shot on net here, gets it over Vault, and I Love Strawberry are 3 up.
And we just think again about the risk strategy, the risk off strategy from AXO. Just before this play, Nasty had got a beautiful pinch over the defense right in front of the net, but nobody was willing to really gun it up alongside him, try and turn that into a goal. And of course it goes the other way. Luna, who retired for a little bit there, has often been in recent times the most impressive player on I Love Strawberry.
I feel like it wouldn't be OCE Rocket League without a bunch of retiring players coming back into the mix and causing a bit of chaos. I've seen it plenty of times before.
Also, I do recall both of you saying that this would be a really close match.
I did. I thought
Formal
it was
especially.
based on...
Formal was really on that.
No, but I completely agreed, because based on the results from yesterday, I Love Strawberry. I don't know. I don't. Maybe they just weren't playing at their best yesterday. AXO with the pressure they put on the Chiefs as well. I know that ultimately it did come down to the Chiefs lacking a little bit, but I feel like AXO's playstyle yesterday was just outmatching them at points. And I thought this would be a lot tighter than it's looking right now.
I Love Strawberry. I feel like we always underestimate them. We underestimated them in the off-season. I didn't think they were a top 4 team. They managed to perform well. And here's Nasty getting a lovely score on the board. I think his first on the stream as Volt set it up. Comes off the post and Caleb couldn't get out to it.
A little handoff from Zen as well to send that ball with a lot of power to the backboard. Now it's not looking overly likely with 30 seconds left. AXO need 2 goals just to take it to OT. I'm sure I Love Strawberry are going to try and hold the fort down now, even take a few shots as we've just seen. Maybe an opportunity here. No, Laxon on the backboard to stop that.
Well, I'm loving to see Nasty and Volty looking to kind of find team plays a lot. We've seen that so much more in the second half of this game than we did in even the entirety of the first game, and they've looked a lot more threatening because of it, rather than just trying to hold the pressure. But of course, it's not quite enough. Caleb is flip reset, faked out Zenulus, gets the extra touch, and, well, Volty left scrambling.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, Yummy, but the reliance of AXO on Zen to create those solo plays and create that aggressive pressure for AXO, it's just not enough. You need the other 2 players to also be doing that. And we, like you said, we were seeing a little bit more of that towards the end of the second game, not so much in the first game. So if they can keep that up, then maybe with a little bit more controlled play, they can put some pressure on I Love Strawberry, but it'll take a little bit for them to step up to that plate.
We've got a new pronunciation as well. Production. Shout out to Chris in our ear is now calling them AXO. So, you know, be careful in case we start calling them that on the stream. And speaking of, it is very interesting having I Love Strawberry as a name when you're trying to seriously cast and you're putting on your caster voice and you're trying to be serious, but you're also saying strawberry all over and over again.
The business professional in me keeps trying to revert to strawberry. And I'm like, no, it's I gotta do the team name justice. It is Strawberry.
Yeah, I mean Luna will be really upset if we call him Strawberry. I know that much. And you know, this is the advantage of us being here on the Fortress channel and having our local OCE community here together. What do you guys think at home? Do you like the name Strawberry? I Love Strawberry. Does it take you away from it? Should they be called Epic Esports or whatever it is that you know, Epic Academy Esports Gaming? I think it adds a little bit of a flair to the region.
I think we've had some good names in the past, and I don't know. I think you're going to get mixed opinions on this one. I think you're going to get some people who absolutely love it, some people who hate it. For us, it comes down to pronunciation. For the casters, it's not whether you like the name or not, it's how hard it is to pronounce. It reminds me of in the off season, Fiber and Hunter's team, whatever they started off, the name they began with in the off season, I didn't even attempt to pronounce it. There's definitely been worse than Strawberry, that's for sure.
There's gonna be some interesting scenarios. I can already predict later on in this tournament that I will be calling Wildcard Power and Power Kib Gang because everybody's switched names, switched orgs, and that can get very distracting at times. The timeout is almost over. AXO. Interestingly enough, I felt they in that second half of that second game was the best that they looked, but you know, is there something that you think they're looking at? I'm thinking over on the defense, just needed to be a little bit more composed, a bit too many double commits causing issues for them, but anything else you saw?
Not in particular. I think they're, like we were talking about, their offense picked up a little bit better. They were gelling a little bit more in their offensive half. I think that I Love Strawberry, just the mechanics on that team, the opportunities they were able to create on AXO's defense led to that kind of disarray that AXO was seeing. And you know, I think you're right that they need to be a little bit more controlled, a little bit more cool, calm, and collected if they want to stop these goals that are coming out from I Love Strawberry.
Well, it is a very, very interesting start to a game 3. If you're calling a timeout, maybe the worst possible scenario is for your opponents to get a kickoff goal. But it was looking like a planned play with Luna gunning forward for that kickoff to go to his direction.
Absolutely. I love Strawberry already with a goal on the board, going to have some momentum going into this game 3. That is not what AXO want right now. They want momentum of their own, but they're just being kept out of it at the moment by this aggressive I Love Strawberry side. Nasty now with 0 boost in the tank, trying to get a bang downfield, gets blocked by Caleb though.
It's going to go turning around once again. Caleb is looking very hungry for goals today. He's been mostly setting up Luna for the finishers, but always looking threatening in front of the net. Speaking of, Luna has completely missed it in the defense and almost gave Zenulus a chance. Now Nasty looking for the Psycho, misses it, and so does Luna. I regret ever saying that he's the one that you want to be shooting on net if he's in front.
I was about to say what happened to like literally 2 games ago. One game, was it last game or the game before? Anyway, the bar down was definitely an impressive shot. Maybe not quite the composure and the consistency just yet, but Laxon's going to put another one on the board.
Laxon's turn to get involved. Luna with a brilliant setup, the self-pass into the drill down the line for a waiting Laxon. We've really seen some great teamwork coming out from I Love Strawberry. Straw B. And we'll get that right eventually.
And now with a very nice block on the backboard there, but ultimately no player inside, no teammate inside, sorry, to be able to assist. Volt, 0 boost, manages to get the reset, does get a 50. Zen with the pass back to Volt, hits the top of his car and puts it into the hands of Luna.
Still a lot of pressure to the 2 lesser experienced players, Volty and Nasty here, knowing that this is the first time on stream, but also first time where they may, well, they're in an elimination match. They may not get a chance tomorrow. We'll head to the upper bracket after this series as a note for you ladies and gentlemen at home. This is the AFL finals format. And I Love Strawberry looking dominant here towards that top 6, looking for the bump as well. Everybody gunning forward, hoping that Laxon would be able to finish it off, but great work from the defense to avoid the demos just this moment so far. Caleb's not going to have the boost to do much of this one. Looks for the pass, but Laxon opts out.
Nasty with a big bang downfield. Luna there to collect though. Is getting challenged by Zen, but ultimately has control of the ball still. Hits it to the backboard, straight to Volt. Looks for Zen, who is pre-jump, trying to get the pass down center. Ultimately, that one's going to get 50 as well, and we're back down the offensive end of Strawberry.
Ooh.
Shot on net from Caleb, goes a little bit too wide. Another save from Zen. Defense holding out strong for now.
Certainly, we didn't see too much push up from I Love Strawberry. Instead, it's going to be Laxon. Try and hold it out. Caleb up against Nasty, just going for the clear at the moment. Zenulus taking his time, but that unfortunately leaves Volt vulnerable underneath him. Bit of a tongue twister there. Laxon out into center. Long drive down. Does Caleb have the double? He certainly does, but it's not on target. The 2-0 lead does not become 3.
Oh, that's such a shame. I reckon that would have been best goal of this series so far. Luna just jumping to that one, able to stretch to get that save there. Laxon with the ball in the corner, goes downfield, gets it past one, can't get it past Volt though. Again with possession, looking for a shot on net, no boost. Nasty goes for a jump without boost either. No opportunity to be had.
Team bump coming out. Laxon was sick of Luna taking his limelight. Laxon's meant to be the golden gamer here. So Luna does it back to him. Almost certainly took the save credit away. They won't mind. It hasn't left them in too many troubles just yet. Zenulus, though, could be trouble in his own right. Gets the bump, looks for the second, opens up the net. Nasty brings it back to 1.
This is the kind of chaos we saw Zen creating yesterday. Gets the demo there off the wave dash as well, just to get enough power on that one. As you said, the smoke screen as well, leading to that goal. Defense not sure of what to do there. That's what we need to see out of AXO.
Can Zenulus make it too? He almost did off the kickoff there. Just didn't quite catch up to the flip reset in time. It's going to be Caleb. Can he get a flip reset with no boost? No, he obviously can't. He can't catch up with it. It's enough to fake out Zenulus. A strong attack right here from AXO. It's a bit dire at the moment for I Love Strawberry attempting to get any touch they possibly can. Zenulus with a double once again. So threatening in the net. Here's the chance that Luna manages to just hold it out once again.
Nasty almost centering it for I Love Strawberry just there. A little bit of a dangerous pass, maybe not the intention.
15 seconds.
Zero boost, running out of time here. Gets blocked by Luna in the corner. AXO have to do something right here, right now. Players are all lacking boost. They need to score. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Caleb has a flip reset, going for a shot himself. We're going to see the ball drop after a bump. And I Love Strawberry take this game 3.
So rude. He knew that he had to stay on the ground to keep it up. Bumps him away. No 0 second keep yuppies allowed for AXO. I Love Strawberry. Man. Anyway, Strawberry go to match point.
That's it. I mean, as rude as it is, when you're on the cusp of being knocked out of a tournament, or when you're in a game, when you're in this lower half of the bracket and you've only got one life, you're going to do anything you can. There is no politeness, there are no manners here, there is no letting the other team keep the ball up for as long as possible, as you may do in a ranked game. There is putting it down as soon as you can when you are up in a game. And now I Love Strawberry in this game 4, just one more to take out this series. AXO pushed to needing to complete a reverse sweep to stay in this.
It's a tough situation over there for AXO. You would have expected maybe that they could have done a little bit more if you were Morgie or Formal and had incorrect opinions, but I was always on the I Love Strawberry train. We'll see if they can close it out. It's gonna be interesting because AXO, once again, they step up at the end of the game. Into the last game, when they're behind, that's when they look their best, when they're just willing to maybe take a few more risks.
Well, looking for the double, it was a nice angle, but not enough power to get it past Luna on that opportunity. A kind of a bump, kind of a pinch coming out of two of AXO's players right there. Nasty kind of faking out Caleb a little bit here, manages to do so. Full boost in the tank, gets it over 1, going for the double. Can he get it straight down? Zenulus there for the follow-up, goes too high as well. Yummy, that was so close.
He's just a little further back, hoping that would come kind of backwards, and then by the time it had bounced off the ground, he couldn't get high enough on that ball to catch up with it. That would have been a very important early lead for them. They better hope it doesn't go the other way, because Zenulus is currently low on boost. Nasty doing whatever he can in the corner. They might be caught out. It's gone off the backboard. Is there the follow-up? No, it's going to be Volty just managing to get a touch, and maybe even Nasty setting up one of his own, a little center of his over to Volty. Follow up on the attack, just trying to crunch it through, go for the safe play and see if they can just brute force it through that defense.
I mean, this might be too little too late from AXO, but I will say that if I hadn't seen these first few games and I was just basing it off this game that we're currently in, it's looking a lot better from AXO. The ball has been in their offensive half. We've seen more shots out of them in this game necessarily than we did in the first game.
There we go,
They're looking
Nasty.
so much more composed with the flip reset off Nasty as well. The bump from Laxon almost sends it in. AXO still with possession, a pass down from Zen to Volt, but it's just going to go too wide.
Thought for a second there that Nasty might have got the second flip reset. Unfortunately, he didn't. Does have a flip reset right now, but takes his own teammate out. Zenulus, one of the shot. It's on the counter. Up against the backboard. No, he goes underneath. Caleb tries to be a little tricky on the defense, and that means that AXO has kept it to a 0-0. What a tight game here in game 4. Once it really feels like all the chips are down, AXO playing their best. Nasty getting caught out. Caleb gets the flip reset, and Luna just comes in to clinch it.
Caleb with 99.9% of this goal right here. Just goes far down, doesn't go in. Luna has to rush in just to get the tiniest touch on that. Make sure it goes in. I Love Strawberry up by 1-0.
After all the efforts, the valiant attacks coming out from AXO, the close opportunity for Zenulus. Again, it comes down to the little mistakes, and in that case, it was Volty having his extra touch, or was it Nasty having his extra touch off the flip reset that went past Zenulus. May have been able to turn it into a goal of his own. More demos now. Looks like AXO attempting to up the aggression as they are a goal behind. Opted to leave or go for it early. 2 minutes still remaining. Nasty manages to make the block. I Love Strawberry looking for the second goal. They're going to be pretty relaxed about it, not going too far with it.
Yeah, no panic at all from the I Love Strawberry side, but AXO starting to panic a little bit. 1:30 on the clock, not a whole lot of time when defense has been as good as it has from I Love Strawberry. Daniel's now with possession of the ball. Luna gets faked out on that one, not realizing Zen had run out of boost, but the ball is going to go to Volt on the wall. 0 boost in the tank. Nasty right behind. Is he going to go for the pass? He does, but Nasty can't get to that one.
I've just been noticing that a lot with Zen when he has been going for those plays kind of in the midfield defense area. He's often kind of using all of his boost to try and finish it off, and he's almost always needed to get a little bit more, maybe a 50 at the end or just an extra touch at the end in order to beat the last offender. So he needs to maybe work on just keeping a bit more boost in the tank. It's another problem that Torsos has spent a long time trying to correct, and maybe has gotten better in recent times. But here's maybe another goal. It's not going to go in the net. It goes off the post. 1 goal left here. Could be all the difference from AXO to see if they can get even one game on the board and a chance at redemption.
Zen had done something similar before in defense as well. It doesn't give him enough momentum. Luna gets the block on the ball there. Laxon with possession, going to try and hold this one. 50 leads the ball to Caleb, takes a shot, but Nasty there in time. No boost in the tank. The ball's caught down AXO's half. They're going to have to keep it up. Zen just manages to. I think I Love Strawberry are going to do everything they can right now to get this one down. Maybe one more shot on the board, but the ball is still kept up. We're going to see a shot here from Luna, not quite whiffs, but nonetheless, I Love Strawberry have taken this game 4 as well. We've got another sweep on the board, Yoni.
They head through to the top 6. Maybe back to the drawing board for AXO. Maybe a consolation can be the little shout out as Volty was using his stream title, Volticus_live, on the stream. Maybe a little consolation prize out for him. But I Love Strawberry Formal is a bit of a favorite of yours, and so you'll surely be happy they're going through.
Look, it's the Lunar curse, Yummy. Whenever I predict the team to falter, Lunar and Co step up, win games. Whenever I start to believe in them, that's
yourself
when
on
they
Discord,
choke
by the way,
and fall apart. No worries. Hey, look, they can hear me. You guys don't have to.
Yeah, he's good on stream, but come on, mate, we got to hear you.
Yeah, no, okay. Now that you guys can hear me, I just loved your commentary work. It was really, really great. You guys did super well out there. Didn't say anything bad about it. But no, it was an interesting series for sure.
Great. I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad I got to hear all of your juicy analysis. Is Tin still their coach?
I don't know. He's doing a watch party stream, and he just seemed to be more in the business of making fun of everybody.
I'm pretty sure he tweeted his extra retirement once again. His 5th retirement. So
it's why him and I Love Strawberry goes together, because between them, I think they make up 50% of the OCE retirements.
At least in the bracket that we have today, a lot of retirements there. But where are we heading next, Formal?
Up next, we are going to be going to that upper bracket. I believe we're going to be seeing Power going up against the Healthy Chiefs. So that's going to be a fun match. In it to the upper bracket, our first preview of what could be our top 4 when we return.
Activate. Activate. Activate.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Fortress Global's channel where we're watching OCE Rocket League's top 8 battle it out for the top 6, for their spot into the top 6 tomorrow. It is that AFL hybrid format. So far we have had both of our lower round matches. We've had Oi take on Walk-in Fridge, coming out of that one victorious, and I Love Strawberry just then taking on AXO, also coming out victorious. 2 sweeps so far. Yummy.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on those?
I was told there'd be no sweeps today, Morgie.
Yeah.
I was promised 0 sweeps, and all I have are sweeps.
Famous last words, Morgie.
I had faith. I had some faith in these rosters. I don't think that's a bad thing. Look, it is out, like you said, it's been a 6-month break. Some of these
Okay,
rosters are new.
the real question now is, do you still have faith in them?
Depends on the
Because
matchups.
if you've been around OCE for any amount of time, you lose faith very quickly.
I'm starting to lose a little faith. I'll give you that.
Yeah, we love to hear that. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. And I also wanted to see us heading to the upper bracket formal, because these are the top 4 teams that we've kind of been looking at. Maybe even a top 3 teams, we could argue, with Power, the Kib Gang being maybe just outside of those teams that we're expecting at the major.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, if you were coming into this with any faith, that faith is probably being placed in a healthy Chiefs, a wild card, or a TSM roster. Power, maybe on the outside looking in, name brand, notwithstanding, this is going to be a real test for them to kind of prove to us and themselves that they belong in that top 4, and maybe not, battling with Strawby in order to hold that number 4 mantle.
I am very excited that we have our first import coming to OCE, and I'll be honest, I was really excited to hear Razier's coming over. Obviously, has had strong up-and-coming results over in EU, but I'll be honest, get as many of them over here as possible. The players here should be strong enough to take down any one of these imports. It only makes the region stronger.
Yeah, it's been exciting to watch, and I also had, the fun privilege of being able to watch their run to this point, and Razier's coming in first week of the Open Qualifiers was very, very sick. Didn't matter. Was still making great plays, apparently, while, bleeding and vomiting everywhere. Was able to focus up, get through, and then yesterday as well, got a big sweep over TSM. There's a reason why the Healthy Chiefs have a lot of hype, and it's, helped by kickoffs like that, Yummy.
First match on the stream for the Birmingham Open, and Raziz gets the first goal off the kickoff, of course. Can't just credit it to him, but Power find themselves already 1 goal behind.
I'm just going to point out that is 2 goals in a row, if you go back to yesterday, that the Chiefs have gotten by banging it off a defender driving straight at their own net. As it stands, Razier's now backward, not going to find that goal. I'm kind of curious your take on this Power lineup, though, to be specific, because, again, you were hinting at it. They look like a team just outside that top 3, maybe looking to fight their way through. It's not looking good for them right now. It looks like that gap might still be there.
For sure. I mean, there is a team, that one little gap behind, that one little tier behind. I feel like those top 3 teams that or any of those 3 are expected to make it to the Birmingham Major. That being said, I spoke a little bit with Gus earlier. He said scrims are going well, that they truly believe in themselves to make it, and it's more about whether they can kind of perform on the day. And we've seen a few times from Gus in particular that he's taken a little while early on in RLCS when he's had the sort of higher teams to get past some of those nerves. Scrub, obviously a very cool customer, has been overseas a bunch of times, but Shaw's Rez also hasn't kind of made it to that very tippity top level, and that's a massive disadvantage in terms of going against these teams. By the first goal over the Scrub.
Yeah, it's interesting to me as we watch the replay. Scrub, just a very nice double, taking advantage of Fiber, who had to burn everything to get off the ground, able to put that through. Like, when you look at this powered lineup, these are all players who I feel like at some stage or another have proven themselves on an RLCS stage. Maybe Gus, we're still waiting for that next step on the offseason. Was right up there with Caleb, actually. I feel like the 2 of them were the 2 who were almost seen as off-season champions coming into this next season with the most hype. Rez over the top, going to equalize this game. It's just, for both of those players, I mean, I'm waiting for that off-season hype to translate into RLCS hype.
Maybe this is it. We saw chat saying go next. Well, maybe Power are right back in it. We'll see, as they have tied this game up. Rez answering Formal's call right there. It's still only been a minute and a half the last series we saw often didn't get any goals scored in the first couple of minutes, so this has been a wild affair so far.
Yeah, the Chiefs, again, it's one thing on, qualifying days. It's another thing in the top 8, but when they were conceding goals, Yummy, they were conceding them in quick bursts. Their kickoffs weren't always the strongest. They were susceptible to giving up series of goals back to back to back to back, and it's kind of a bit of a worrying trend. From what we've seen from the Chiefs early, they are a very aggressive team. They like to go for challenges. They like to steal boosts, keep you starved, and then just, pack a shark smelling blood, challenge, as we're seeing right here in the corner. And I think that style, yep.
I feel like any team that has Hunter on it is going to be by default pretty aggressive. And again, we've seen him be a player in the past who's kind of let off the leash. I think RLCS we're seeing kind of wants to do some of that too. So not a surprise that they might be over-aggressing early, but it is their first RLCS as a team, and the first time that they're really playing where stakes are high. And speaking of, what have they done here?
I need another angle of this one. Scrub's touch should have been red. Hunter just saw the yellow blur in the corner of his eye. Makes a really unfortunate read. And the 2-goal lead the Healthy Chiefs established for themselves, it's already gone just past the halfway point of game number 1.
That's a big fake. You usually expect the player behind to be covering it, but unfortunately they were not. RLCS probably could have sunk that one. Instead, going to have to go for another round while they're 1 goal behind. They need any goal that they can get. RLCS down to Hunter, and Hunter scores.
This is turning into our highest scoring game yet. Bit surprising when it's on that upper bracket, however. Both teams overextending in the middle of the field at times, getting caught out on fakes. A lot of open-looking nets right now, Yummy. Very surprising for the caliber of these two sides.
Well, you said it before, sometimes a little over-aggression. We're just still seeing maybe a bit of time for the teams to come together. If you guys didn't quite follow OCE in the off-season, we had the RLO Grand Slam. We also had the Open that everybody had. The off-season tournament, but we had a bunch of set teams that really thought that they were going to stick together, and then after the RLO Grand Slam or in the off-season, they all made a huge amount of switch-ups, and Gus was originally on a team with Torsos and Fever. Now he's hanging out here on Power, so they're still trying to figure out what they're doing. Chiefs only brought in RLCS in the off-season, so they still don't have much of experience together. And it's usually the defense that requires you to have the best teamwork, the best communication, the most time together to really nail.
Yeah, and it's shown in all the matches coming up into this one. If people are feeling so brave as to go back and look up some of those results from the past few days, you'll see a lot of high-scoring games as a result, as teams have been willing to send it. And it's made things interesting because I think what you just outlined is a big reason why we've been seeing teams like AXO have some success against teams like the Chiefs as well. It's kind of opened the door maybe for some of the Bubble C teams to look maybe more competitive than they might do later. Just a theory. We'll see how those teams develop. But for right now, tie game, 30 seconds left. Game 1 still up for grabs.
It's all down to the wire in game 1. We've seen Chiefs with a huge resurgence and a few goals. RLCS could have secured himself, but it's going to be Scrub. He's found the top bar and manages to sneak it in.
Yeah, that was just free play down the middle on the bit of that breakaway. Yes. I don't know if that ball bounces out. Hunter, give him credit for the assist, but it's a tough one to read. 4-3, 16 seconds left.
Exactly what they needed. People thought they were down and out when they were 2-0 down. They've managed to bring it back to 4-3. Hunter almost finding one off the kickoff. Not able to just yet. Can Healthy Chiefs find anything right now to get themselves into overtime, or will it be Power taking first blood? It looks like it will be. Scrub getting that touch to the ground and taking the MVP honors to go.
Yeah, a couple awkward kickoffs, some really good breakaway plays from Power, and a hat trick on Scrub gives Power the edge. Game number 1 going to that orange side, which, I mean, when you look at the shot counter at the end, Healthy Chiefs nearly doubling the attacking pressure from Power, but again, they're so dedicated to the attack. They play so far forward. It just opened a lot of avenues for Power to punish.
And you normally expect an attack that can set up sustained pressure to have shots all across the board. Fiber didn't get a single one, which is at least an indicator that they weren't always kind of keeping that pressure on until Power lost all their boost. Meanwhile, Power had some great breakout attacks, a couple of little fakes and individual plays that made all the difference as well.
Yeah, there was a lot of smart play from Power, really well done, and I mean, they're definitely going to be motivated to try to take down one of these top 3. That's how you want to do it. Great opening from the orange side as we get geared up to go into game number 2. Yummy. If trends are continuing, it's going to be problematic. I don't want to be that guy who says only sweeps today, but it's been the trend.
Well, yeah, statistically, we only have sweeps in OCE thus far, so you can, of course, expect that Power win it out. But I think in a chaotic series like this, with so much scoring, it's unlikely. Now that you're being bought out by the big, healthy conglomerate, how much are you cheering for the Chiefs right now?
I am impartial. Always impartial in situations like this. Okay, I mean, look, I'm not on a healthy Chief stream here. Scrub could have tapped that one down and in. Besides, I like watching Scrub pop off. This has been great from him.
I love this. This is a goal that you could see all the way back in RLCS Season 1, and yet is still impressive today. Just coming off the backboard, an insane angle right there to sneak it in. Exactly what you want to see from player who's been around the block for a while now. And at this point in time, Power, they're looking like the dogs in charge. They've been saying that they've done well in scrims. Now they're looking to put that into game day.
On the topic of Scrub, though, and like seeing them pop off, it's actually, to me, been a little bit surprising since like the days of the Pioneers and that iconic lineup. Scrub really has been like the one to still be hunting for that, same high level of success, despite, I would say, all the 3 players, being quite equal in skill at the time. I feel Scrub is due for another pop-off season and getting those regional wins once more.
There's definitely been times where people have talked about Scrub. Often the international competition would talk about Scrub as sometimes being the best player on that 4-Kidden roster, the Pioneers roster, the original trio. But he's maybe never been that kind of carry player. He's been able to do everything for the team. And today it looks like he might be that guy. Second goal here. He's had a couple in the previous game. Great angles. Great backing up of his teammates as well.
Yeah, I mean, that double that looked like was setting him up out of Gus. Almost thought that one would go in, but Scrub is there to clean up the pieces. And more unanswered goals going Power's way to start Series 2 off. We'll see where they go from here. Razier's down the middle. Goes for the air dribble bump. Tried and true. Hunter will help secure the point.
Air dribble bump play coming out from Razier's. This is a classic in EU. Maybe not seen as much in OCE outside of the 1v1 game. And, well, it's a beautiful setup and a good way for healthy Chiefs to get back in.
I have heard so many players and fans complaining about the air dribble bump, saying it's indefensible and unfair. Personally, I think that's hogwash, but what's your take on that?
Well, it is defensible, and I guess both teams can do it, so it's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
It can feel that way when you are playing the game, though. And this one from Hunter, it's almost just a drive down from end to end because of the big demo. Rez, he was smoke screened off, and that's why Hunter's able to beat all 3.
Smoke screen, no boost. It was a shot in the dark for Rez. Does come up empty. And similar vibes to the first game, just flipped right now. The early 2-goal lead already equalized before the halfway point. Another high-scoring affair between these two sides. Scrub now with a chance. Won't be able to beat Fiber to the play.
I remember a time where a lot of pros were arguing that, that demos were too OP, and a part of that was because of the ability to smoke screen your opponents. Well, Haven't heard that argument for a while there, but that could have been the case. A two-person play out of the game from one demo. The third person, of course, not ready for his two teammates to be beaten. Healthy Chiefs find themselves down again. Rez just takes a shot. The defense has been haphazard at best. And Healthy finding themselves shellacked at the moment.
Oh boy, this is very reminiscent of some of the losses that the Healthy Chiefs may have had the past couple days. Just defensive miscues. Razier's with an EU pre-jump there, I suppose, right over the ball. Late lead for Power. 2 minutes to go, though, with the rate that these goals have been scored. No reason to think that the points are going to stop. But it is Power continuing to be more of the aggressors.
Now, of course, you were casting Healthy Chiefs yesterday. Probably be pretty impressed by Hunter. He's got his hat-trick right now. Takes it up the wall. Manages to collect it once again off the roof. That's very difficult as a defender to deal with.
A nearly perfect scoop right there. It's perfect when you score, I suppose, so they're going to be happy. Yeah, Chiefs going to be happy with that, but no, if there was a point of weakness for the Chiefs, it has been Fiber's not been the weakness.
Who's been the weakness for the Chiefs? Because at the moment we've seen maybe a team weakness on the defensive end, but offense has been immaculate so far. Another very, very high-scoring game between what we expected to be two class teams.
I mean, that's been the Chiefs. It has been all gas, no brakes, as it were, following them. And it's interesting seeing that continue against the other projected top teams, right? Because normally teams might change their play style when they go up against other teams in the top 3, top 4, top 6. But it's that same aggressive approach, like middle of the field, trying to steal boosts, trying to keep on the attacking half. And when on defense, it's just panic. Whoever's back there, make a touch. This time, Hunter doesn't get past Rez. Raziers is there, down and in. It's a 2-goal lead.
Maybe that's why yesterday they lost first 2 games against AXO, but they were able to come back so convincingly when their attack is on and when they're able to keep possession of the ball, keep control of the play, they're almost bound to score. In that case, they put so many shots on net that eventually Power couldn't get a clear.
And it's the identity that the Chiefs do want for themselves. They want to be that aggressive team. And I was mentioning this to Morgy Yummy, and curious on your take on this one as well. Last season, we saw, the Power, now wildcard lineup, they were the best at that aggression, especially between Banana Head and Torsos. Do you think this is almost a sense of the rest of the region catching up and recognizing how effective that style can be?
It's a very interesting question, because, maybe answered by another goal, but part of being so hyper-aggressive and what made the last season's Power so successful is the fact that they played so aggressively it allowed them to play as fast as humanly possible, and that's what's causing some of the mistakes for both teams in the defense. And, oh my goodness, it's not even a point anymore of talking because we're getting stopped every 10 seconds for another goal.
This is why kickoff goals drive me crazy. But yeah, it is definitely been causing a lot of foibles, a lot of mistakes on that defensive side. And I was genuinely believing once we got to these top seeded teams, the double fake! I was expecting things to clean up and maybe the aggression to shimmer a bit, but no, it's been the opposite. It almost feels like these sides have been getting even more aggressive.
The coach of AXO coming in to chime in to say that they just gave Chiefs the last 3 games because they felt bad for them. So, great guys, AXO. I guess they also gave 4 games earlier this afternoon to be such lovely, lovely gentlemen. But shout out to Quavy. Shout out to AXO. No longer in the bracket, but Healthy Chiefs, after being taken down in the first game, has brought this back, and even this 1 goal that has now made it 11 goals for the game is not going to be enough.
No, it's not happening. Game 2, the clean sweep streak is over as the Healthy Chiefs will be taking this one down, but it's kind of hard to kind of look at the greater scope maybe of where this series is going besides both teams just putting a lot of points on right now. I'm kind of curious which team is going to be the first one to step up on that defensive side of the ball and really shut out their opponents at this stage.
Well, I don't think it's going to be Power. I don't think it's going to be either team, to be honest. I think the way that both of these teams want to play, or more that I feel like that Chiefs are controlling the pace of the game more than anything else, they're the ones kind of more likely to overcommit, to let their defense slip in order to get more chances at goals. So, I mean, in terms of stepping up on the defense, it's more for Power to just be able to find better clears, maybe little passing plays they can get out just to prevent the sustained attack and the crazy goals that Chiefs have been able to conjure up.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they're able to bring. I mean, I know for watching the Chiefs before, the sustained attack is really when they start to thrive again, when they're able to start stealing boosts and just consistently challenging. It's been difficult for their opponents to get off the backboard. The way how AXO did it was, as you mentioned, it was fast defensive passes and just forcing clears with a little bit of defensive misdirects or, risky defensive passes that worked out when they had the opportunity to actually play with the speed advantage. So my eyes is going to be on to see whether or not Power can do a good job securing their own boosts and find those avenues that you mentioned as well off the kickoff. Gus finds an avenue straight down the middle.
Hearing a lot of happy voices in the production. They're happy when 20,000 goals a game gets scored, because then they don't have to try and find random highlights for the game between. They can just pick and choose the best goals of the game. I've seen quite a lot of them. Scrub being the one to step up for Power. I'd kind of expect Gus to be able to set up some fantastic solo plays. He's not quite been getting the room on that one. And over on the Chiefs, very much send everyone, but Raziers has been having a huge impact. Fiber, well, he's having impact now, stepping up the field, waiting for the pass.
Yeah, I want to see this pass again. Just a great touch from Hunter, finding Fiber and almost, I already use a gridiron term, it was Owen B in the slot receiver position, just streaking down the middle. They connect, 1-0 lead, beautiful pass play, and the healthy Chiefs continuing where they left off in game number 2.
It's going to be a tough time if Power keep letting in the early goals. Gus has not had enough boost as well to be able to make those solo plays we're looking for. Hunter is constantly on the attack and maybe looking to build some room for his two teammates. Fiber has shown off some of his mechanics throughout this series so far. At the moment, Chiefs are just settling into that halfway mark. Got to disrupt that. Rez, I like the idea to go for the bump, but he ends up missing.
Well, let's see what Scrub can do off the ceiling. He's been a highlight reel so far. This time it will be Razier's backboard and then forward. Setting up the Chiefs perhaps for something. Hunter's going to get a free shot. Gus actually got to it. Very nice play to keep Power still within striking distance. However, this is not where you want to be against the Chiefs on that backboard. This is where it gets difficult to clear it out.
Almost headed over to Raziers. He's been hanging in very aggressive positions. A lot of trust in the teammates, sometimes overdoing it, but as you can see, Raziers getting beaten, trying to touch his teammate to move forward. A bump over. Gus! He falls back onto it. Well, you were looking for the defense. There it is, coming out from Gus on his own teammate.
Correct me if I'm wrong, too. It looked like the net was open except for Gus. The pass play had worked. The lane was there.
He'd done everything he needed to do. Unfortunately, sometimes when you flip through the ball to get the pass off, you land in the wrong position, and you just have to forget about it and keep moving on. Could be a tied game. They're going to think it's unlucky, unfortunate. They still need to prove themselves here and take game 2, and Gus certainly makes up for it. Sneaks it into the top.
Yeah, cheeky bit of redemption for Gus right there. I mean, was already looking to play through the corner. Tight cut gets them in position to sneak that one over the top. So Power not back in this, I should say. Chiefs not running away with it anymore. Tie game in our final 2:15. This game, though, is a lot more what I expected this series to look like, Yummy, though. Like, yes, you're still seeing the aggression. Yes, we're still seeing the shots, but a little less chaotic on the defensive side of the ball.
A little. I mean, considering the first game, it was 3-3 at the 1 minute 30 mark, and now we're at the 3 minute mark, and there's only been 2 goals scored. But I don't think it's for want of trying. Both teams have just kind of Felt more like they've settled into their rotations, not kind of like letting their opponents get a full breakaway just yet. Scrub has taken it up into the air, maybe a made of breakaway of his own, as Gus still been looking for Gus to kind of have that massive impact when he's got time on the ball.
Yeah, I'm surprised. A lot of Gus's approaches have like turned a little bit more conservative than I would expect.
More direct, yeah.
Yeah, or direct. Like he definitely hasn't been going for the big mech plays as of yet. Granted, there's still time for it. It's a long series. Would love to see Gus settle in a little bit more and show us why he was considered such a big acquisition for one of these top teams.
And time now for Power to show their defensive prowess. This is a good setup here for the Chiefs. Raziers almost bumps out Scrub. Scrub gets the double touch, preventing Fiber from scoring. Touch back from Raziers to continue the play as Hunter gets beaten now completely. Fiber has to go dashing back. Gus manages to just keep it in, but isn't going to be able to score from there.
Yeah, not enough boost to go for anything too crazy, and it does concede possession back to the healthy Chiefs, who now are going straight towards the net. Rez will keep it corner, but that is enough time for the Chiefs to set up for something a little bit more sustained. 30 seconds to go, and unless Power finds a gap, which they do, wouldn't have expected them to be on the attack. There's not a lot of boost. They still try to push forward. A bad challenge could open it up. 20 seconds in regulation, overtime very much on the table.
Rez has been going for a few more solid 50s and has been quite successful with the last few. Hasn't been able to create a goal-scoring opportunity, but it's letting less into his own half. Rez, once again, a really good 50 against Fiber. Looks for another one on Hunter, and that spills out straight up into the air. Bump almost sets it up for Hunter. Shot not on. It will hit the ground. We go to overtime.
First overtime of the afternoon. First overtime on the main broadcast, and blink, and it's over. Gus off the kickoff gives Power the win.
Back to game one, where we saw the Chiefs struggling on the kickoff at times, of what you said yesterday, that one goal can quickly turn to two when they're involved. Gus almost gifted that one. Everybody was flying past the ball.
Yeah, and with that Power, I mean, it felt like they were on the back foot for a majority of that game. Obviously, looking at the stats right now, you can see it did start to equalize out towards the end. In fact, going in Power's favor with the win, but yeah, healthy Chiefs struggled to get those goals despite feeling like they were controlling the tempo, and it's a big win for Power.
But we did speak about that kind of at the beginning of that game, that Power, it's not about not playing defense. It's about finding ways out of defense to just halt the Chiefs' attack for a little bit. And they did quite well. The major step of that at the end was Rez playing for the 50s. He's not kind of trying to play to outpace people, to beat them, to lead into almost more wild touches that can go into Chiefs' favor, that can maybe play on chance. He was really doing well, staying behind the ball, full body behind it, and putting the odds into his favor.
I was also incredibly impressed with Scrub, actually, as well, on the defense side of the ball, getting a lot of those strong first defensive touches when shots were being on, just keeping the ball in safe places and giving Power the space to set up those midfield clears as well. I think it was just an impressive effort from that Power side to sort of withstand the Chiefs' pressure and aggression. And now going into game 4, I believe that was a timeout for the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. So not on match point yet, but they're already using that timeout.
Well, I don't know exactly what they're going to be talking about, because realistically they already seem to make some adjustments before that previous game. And what will they be able to really adjust in that time? You kind of need a little bit of time to really get set in your play. So maybe they're more just focusing on the fact that this could put some ice on Power.
Yeah, it could be trying to slow their opponent's momentum. I still, funny as it sounds, it does feel like they've been trying to force some of their aggression at times. And I think, yeah, they haven't really been setting up their attacks before committing to them. And I feel like maybe that's left them exposed in a couple of moments. Again, they look their best when the first player follows through, seals the boost, they're keeping their opponents pinned down. They've been trying to pin their opponents down, but failing, but still have been playing forward.
We'll see what the difference is made here in game number 4. Almost a must-win game, otherwise Power will find themselves with 3 match points in a row. And the way that they've been playing and the the ability for, say, Scrub to step up, as we saw in the first couple of games, or Gus to go to his kind of expected next level. You don't want to be giving them that many opportunities to do so. So they need to win right now.
That they do. That they do. I mean, this series is already setting up to be, again, what I was hoping to see with these top teams. What a strike, Hunter. Precision, 1-goal lead.
Pure read here from Hunter. This is why you like to have a player willing to be off that leash. A lot of players would have stepped back when they saw their teammate commit already for the ball, but he gets in, finds the little gap, slams the net, and that's a goal that is generated almost out of nothing.
It's the type of players who think they can score on every single touch. It feels like, Yummy, just the confidence, just like, oh yeah, I can hit that, and is going to pull that trigger. And it describes the Chiefs in a lot of ways. That's how they're kind of approaching this. Ooh, Rez maybe had a shot right there, winds up underneath, and Hunter will get a defensive touch. 2 players on the Chiefs press forward. Razier's slowing it down, but Scrub with boost wants a pass across the middle. It goes the Chiefs' way.
Hunter once again trying to find his prey. It's going to be Razier's with the follow-up. Has the flip reset. An early jump from Gus.
Oh.
And that's almost opened up the net in its own right. Huge 50 from Fiber. So many gaps in the defense. Rez doing whatever he can, and he's done beautifully to get that demo. Should slow down the attack a little bit and give Scrub some room. As another demo from Rez. Man, I have been calling him out, so he's not unsung hero right now, but he's doing a lot off the play. As Fiber finds the triple off the roof. Maybe the heroics from Scrub and Rez are not enough. Gus goes flying past, completely fooled.
Oh, there is always that extra element from the Chiefs as well. I mean, it feels like we haven't been calling out Fiber a lot, but I mean, mechanically, people rate him like top 3 in the region, sometimes even higher, reminding us what he could do with space right there. That was a sick goal.
The difference is I feel like Fiber has been achieving a lot so far in the series. And so I haven't really need to call out that he needs to go next level like I have been for Gus. But that is the kind of plays that he can pull out of his pocket and just score a game-winning goal out of nowhere and really turn the tides. I mean, look at that. The second goal turns into a third.
Yeah, and I think that best exemplifies the kind of performances we were looking to see out of Gus coming into this one, and we're still kind of waiting for that because Gus has the talent to do something similar, and we see how it elevates a team. Banana Head is another player who will sometimes pull that out and can be that catalyst, and I kind of am in agreement right now. If Power is going to see sustained success in these close top 4 series, somebody has to step up to be that guy. Logic says it could be Gus. Realistically, it could be anybody on Power, but want to see Gus start to pull that off soon.
I mean, logically, it's got to kind of come down to Scrub right now, but it's not the kind of this is a flabbergasting. My gast has been flabbered by Fiber. He's a beast at both ends. That's all I can say.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Fiber, he's going to do it for the Chiefs. He's going to power up Power as well. He's going to work both sides. That was, whoops is all he could say after that.
You know, how many times if he was trying to purposely do that at the other end would he succeed? It's always when you're in your own defense and something's gone slightly wrong. And you just know like half a second before it goes in your net that it's a goal. Speaking of, I don't know why this has got past the defense overall. This is a very simple play from Razier's. A Season 3 RLCS goal, but he's done beautifully to at least find the angle. Yeah,
placement right down and in. Fair enough, 4-1 lead to mitigate the
almost
own goal.
Almost a 5-0 with the own goal.
Yeah, true. 5-0. That's the first proper own goal of the season on stream. There it is.
There you go. OCE's being christened. We're truly back here in RLCS 2025.
Exactly. We needed that, and it would be Fiber to get it. So 4-1, 5-0, however you want to call it. It does look like we're on pace for a tied-up series with 100 seconds left. The Chiefs, again, I don't want to go Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but when they are confident, when they are on the attacking side, I mean, this offense has potential to be the best in the region.
You saw it yesterday, the reverse sweep. Lose first 2 games. absolute destruction from games 3 to 5. And that allowed them to get here in the upper bracket. Oh, Rez with no boost. And he's done enough. Gets it over to Gus, and maybe some confidence here that they'd be able to make this comeback.
The boostless battle. Fiber, yeah, nowhere safe to put that ball. That situation, it's just the rest of the Chiefs unable to rotate back to be able to wrap around and make the save. So good job from Rez finding that gap. Does enough on the 1v1 to help secure the goal. Is it enough to turn this game around? Maybe. Minute 10, with how frequently goals have come, Power's not out yet.
You'd expect that the Chiefs would settle down and be willing to hold on to a 2-goal lead, but it's the Chiefs we're talking about after all. I don't even know if they know the word defense, let alone are able to execute it right now. Gus is going for the bumps. He doesn't have any boost, and Fiber's just run away from him. Scuttled off.
Yeah, you know, I'm just going to take the ball with me as well. Good save by Gus. That nearly goes through, but the important battle being one on the clock right now as time continues to whittle away. It's defense through aggression, Yummy. They're staying on the attack. They're not letting Power get across the midfield easily, and they should be able to hold on to possession from here to the end.
It's a 50 from Rez that finally goes maybe against his favor. And yeah, with Chiefs just keeping this one in the attacking half, not giving any single inch to Team Power, they should be able to tie up this game, and in fact have.
Yeah, and we've got ourselves a tied series. Post-timeout buff. Chiefs playing like they should. Fiber will end game 4 with a, cherry on top, feather in the cap, a sick goal from above.
I just saw Fiber just going up at the corner of my eye, and I just knew that he was about to produce another little bit of magic. And that can happen when you get that first confidence booster with the triple tap. And now, right at the very end, he's got to be feeling like he's on right now. And maybe that's what they talked about in that timeout. Maybe they wanted Fiber to get more involved, to just use his confidence a bit more. And Formal, sometimes that can feel hard when you've got a player like Hunter who is kind of left to his own devices to feel like he can get as involved as Fiber did now.
Yeah, it is, again, one of the biggest question marks, I think, when you look at this Chiefs lineup. I mean, obviously the hype is there for the team. Fiber, considered one of the best in the region. Hunter, mechanically, can be right up there with them and has had those flash moments when the confidence and the plays are connecting. Then you throw in Razir, as you know, this almost unknown element from EU. Yes, they're proven over there, but how do they fit in the OCE style? It almost feels like these are 3 players that want to be aggressive, and it's going to take them a bit to find that perfect synergy with each other. But just the individual talent at times is there in spades through Fiber, through Hunter, through Razir's even, that they're still going to win games on that path to hitting the peak, and it's why this Chiefs lineup has potential to be so scary.
I'm also really excited about if they can make it to Birmingham.
Yes.
What they'll be able to do, because I've really felt like Fiber has been one of the few players in OCE who's kind of lived up to his kind of domestic level on the international stage. He's felt like he's performed well at the RLCS lands. Razir's, we've seen him internationally be able to play in 1v1 in Gamers 8 and perform really well in that. And I'd say 1v1 on LAN is pretty much the most nerve-wracking of the formats. Hunter, maybe that big question mark for them, but again, he's somewhat of a question mark. He hasn't had too much LAN experience, at least at the RLCS stage just yet.
Yeah, I would say I thought, again, you know my stance, I thought Hunter stepped up big time on the World Cup, Esports World Cup event that happened in Saudi as well with the Chiefs when they got their top 8. I thought Hunter was a big reason for that. So they've been proven, but Rez is still going to get the first goal.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Fiber got too excited by his first own goal, and he's scored somewhat of another one right here, of course assisted by the opponents. It's not his fault, but still, it did come off him. Rez will be considered the scorer for that one, and Power, well, they've fought back extremely well. Rez gets goal number 2.
This one a little bit more off the right car this time around. Fiber just a really unfortunate touch right there. Probably thought they had a bit more time, but Rez, aggressive play up the corridor, gets the gift and takes advantage of it. Now a 2-0 lead.
And
Oh,
another
well,
kickoff goal.
okay.
Well. 2-0 lead turns to 2-1 very quickly when these two teams are involved. A little bit of luck there for Fiber as, well, the ball landed straight on him.
I don't think Fiber can touch the ball right now without it going into a goal. Just no matter where he is on the field, it's going to go to the nearest goal. That seems to be the case at this stage. Just an absolute ball hawk, that time off the kickoff. This time, well, it's straight into Rez. Power looking to reestablish the 2-goal cushion they found for themselves. Not going to find it straight away. Rez still will take a shot on no boost, and it is the Chiefs on the back foot.
Well, it's a 2-1 lead, and the question is going to be, will they look to hold on to it, or like we saw from the Chiefs, maybe go to that next level? Gus is making a save and manages to collect a little bit more out of it. Give some room. Look at the attack from Chiefs. They do not slow down. Players flying left, right, and might be good night as Raziz gets a beautiful touch and it's gone the other way. Power felt the pressure of needing the goal. Hunter in an argy-bargy over to Fiber, and their counter-attack successful. Power going too far.
Oh, man, Power, they thought they had it lined up, and unfortunately on no boost. I'm surprised they even made it back to the backboard. The desperation bumps coming from Scrub, not quite enough to make the save, so we're tied. Still a lot of time left in this game, so probably 4 or 5 more goals at minimum at this rate, but yeah, you can feel how important this Game 5 is, Yummy. With the series as back and forth as it is, the chance to get that extra game cushion and go to match point. This is a game neither team can ill afford to lose, and I think that's why we are seeing, even more of that aggression we saw before.
It's the circus of OCE has been truly lit up right now.
Is that a rule one?
Absolute goal fest.
No. Okay.
Gus almost gets that one down, and that was the first real a big sign of a solo play from Gus. I like to see it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see more of those for Power's sake. I mean, it's something that I think a lot of those who follow the OCE scene will be hoping to see. Gus now through the corner. It's all to set up Scrub. Won't be able to find the shot. Fiber now, not a lot of boost to clear it. Tries to keep it up high. Rez forced to go backwards, and you'd expect the Chiefs to jump on it. That's been their MO. Middle of the field, good touch, but not good enough.
And talk about the pressure that's been going on. The question in chat, yes, Raziz did travel down to OC. I believe he's in Brisbane. I'm not 100% sure, to play in OC RLCS. He's on 20 ping, and he's been performing very, very well so far for the Chiefs, and this is just early days for him.
Yeah, still adjusting to, the country, learning the food, learning the culture, learning how to handle the 37-degree Brisbane heat. It'll all come to him soon enough, you'd have to hope. As we see Scrub now looking to bring some heat of his own. Can't go too far with it. Back to the corner. Raziers does get it around Rez. Power looking for bumps. That's been a promising sign in the past, but this time the Chiefs defense stays patient and find the clear.
Oh, Hunter prioritizing the ball over the boost, and certainly got to give credit for him to be able to succeed while doing that, as he had 0 in the tank. Gus gets the double touch off the roof again, looking to go for more solo plays now as we find a tied up game. Big beat by Rez. It's a 3 versus 1, and Raziers has to do a lot here as Rez fakes it out, or maybe just misses.
Either way, Raziers was ready for the fake play. It was good positioning from the healthy Chief defender. And now it is the Chiefs once more on the attack. Fiber wants to go solo, reset backboard. Gus has the first touch, but now we'll have to get it past Raziers. Has a teammate to help him. The 50 goes nowhere. Scrub, no momentum, but goes unchallenged long enough to go to the blue side of the field. Backwards pass, should see the Chiefs coming back the other way. Yummy. It could be another overtime unless the next attack bears fruit and gets the go-ahead goal.
Yeah, it's looking closer and closer to that overtime, but if anyone can score right now, it is the Chiefs, as they've been piling on the pressure in the last few moments. 4 shots extra on the board to put them in 10 shots to 5. Raziers almost fakes out a flip reset. This should touch the ground. There's a little touch away. Overtime in a crucial game.
Yeah, our second overtime in this series. Stakes have been building. Last time it was off the kickoff. This time the Chiefs are ready for it. We last longer than 4 seconds. Maybe it's only going to be about 15 because the Chiefs are set up. Fiber won't get the shot.
So far, Power have held on well in the defense against probably one of the best offenses, if not the best offense right now in OCE. This one's going to come off the wall as Power looking to find some sort of goal, but another overcommit. Raziers taking a long shot, but Scrub had managed to get back.
Yeah, Raziers just didn't have enough boost to really get all of the touch that would have been required for the breakaway goal, but it's still enough to get the Chiefs on the attacking orange side. Fiber doesn't play keep away, and Raziers on their own, but with a lot of space to work with, they just kind of go straight up to the top. This is actually going to be very good for Power. I feel like they can set themselves up quite nicely here.
Well, this is the long overtime as well. Last one lasted just a few seconds. Managed to get this one into a stalemate here, but Fiber trying to decide it. Ends up going for the touch off to the side. Now the corner. Raziers, does he have the backup? No. It's going to be Rez with an extra touch. It's going to go falling down for Scrub, but no goal just yet.
Good touch from Raziers. They'll actually stay on it, but it's Fiber who goes for the play, trying to pancake it in. Underneath is Raziers, and it's going to be the healthy Chiefs advancing to match point.
The Beast brays once again. Fiber, I don't know how he manages to collect it so well off the flip reset, but he gets the air dribble, pancakes it down. Healthy Chiefs on match point.
Yeah, these are hard-fought wins, but the thing that I'm liking from both of these teams, a bit more so on the healthy Chiefs side, they're getting better at, withstanding the pressure. The Score-a-Palooza has kind of ended early, it feels like, especially in that one. And the end result is a much more of a chess match type game. Each team's looking for those individual beats when they can find them. And the healthy Chiefs just a little bit faster, connecting that one time more. And well, the shot differential as well definitely helps.
And part of it has been Power trying to just hold more of a defensive line. It has been working for them to some part, but it also means that when you've got somebody like Fiber on the field, that they can make a powerful play that maybe no defense would be able to defeat. So interesting what they'll do. They have called the timeout. Power, if you recall, we said at the very beginning of the series that they're outside of that top three, outside of that tier one team, but they've been right up next to Chiefs, right up next to a team who's brought in our first big international import.
Yeah, and again, too, I mean, they are proving they can be competitive, but it's one thing to be competitive. It's another thing to actually overcome that. Granted, this still wouldn't mean the end of the losing team of the series as well. Again, the losing match will go down to face Oi Oi, I believe, in the first match tomorrow, which won't be an easy match in its own right. However, that chance for redemption will be there for which either team does fall short. But for the confidence, for the seeding, guaranteeing yourself in the top four, meaning you're going to be one of those teams pretty much guaranteed competing for that major slot, this is still a key match.
It is the best case scenario, especially for somebody like Power, who's maybe a little less experienced, really for both teams, because you also think about Raziers. He's traveled a long way to compete here. He's got a lot of pressure on himself as well, but alleviated a little bit by the fact that they do have that extra life. Maybe that's why we've seen both the teams able to settle down a little bit as the series goes on.
And we'll see which of these teams will be able to go over the top as we go to Neo Tokyo, the classic match 6 map. And so far, it has been the Chiefs now since their timeout with the edge. We'll see if the timeout buff will help Power this time around. Hunter, though, off the kickoff, tried for the reset, still got the ball to the backboard, but the immediate follow-up is not there.
Seen moments in the last game where Gus looked like he might be able to go next level. We saw the first couple of games where Scrub was really leading the charge. If these guys can get all three to really become a well-oiled machine, they'll be stepping up into that tier 1. Currently, I'd say tier 1.5. They're a team that can beat the teams above, but maybe aren't expected to regularly do so just yet. Especially when you got the likes of Wildcard, X-Power, who still have won 6 regionals in a row, won every single one last year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's hard not to put them still as the final boss of the region as a result. Of course, we'll be watching their game up next against TSM, which is bound to be a good battle. But the battle right now, with a fair bit on the line for assessing where these two rosters can be, it's looking good for the Power side. Scrub Doesn't really stay behind that ball. Fiber does enough underneath to run disruption, and now a passing clear to Hunter, who goes straight for the net. Wanted top in. It's just not quite there.
All teams in our top 4 have had the benefit of picking up a fantastic organization. Something that maybe in the past in OCE and certainly in the current climate has been quite difficult. So very proud of everyone getting involved here.
Woof.
But for now, players who need to get involved, again, keep looking at Gus. What's he going to be able to do for power? Is that the clear down to Gus for the double? Has he beaten down Hunter? Well, it was on target. Hunter used the very last bit of his boost to get in the way.
Fiber with the follow-up save as well. That 50 almost goes over
another.
Raziers, but the Chiefs defense doing enough to keep them back. My goodness. As now Raziers will clear it up the corridor back to Fiber, but it's a little bit of right scrub. No boost, can't challenge. Raziers in the back of the net. Looked a little bit stuck. This could be dangerous because Hunter has missed. Gus, if he's fast enough, gets past another defender, looking for the pass. They connect, but it's top post and out. Follow-up touch. That goes in.
It took a little bit more time than expected, but Gus finally managed to get the touch past. He had everybody on the Chiefs running backwards, and 3 shots finally make it through. Power take the lead.
3 shots and a bump. The physicality was the Chiefs' biggest weakness against AXO. Got a little bit against them right there. Much needed lead for Power. They would love that second goal, however. Gus, does he have it in him this time? Fiber does get in the way. Hunter will keep it up high. Nobody going up to immediately challenge. Rez waits till the middle of the field, and Scrub is there for the follow-up. Rez's midfield touches and midfield challenges, you called it out before. That was that third element that Power needed, but there's nobody back. Rez there just in time.
It's been very much a high-scoring affair, and part of it has been just not recognizing when the ball can go against your way at any point in time. That one very close from Scrub to almost being a bar and in, but it ends up just floating across the net.
As we see, Gus getting demoed. Rez picks up the slack. A pinch. Doesn't result in the goal. It will be Hunter now. Back up the other way. Very back and forth. Game number 6 right now. Oh, that pass looked good. Scrub save. Even better as Raziers wasn't able to sneak it in.
I think Raziers was just hoping to get the quickest shot on possible, so he went flat. Needed to go high just to really test that defense. Fiber, another shot. Had 5 shots in a row, all saved out from Power. Both teams a lot more focused on the defense in this game number 6. Looking like we might be heading towards a game 7 the way things are going.
Gus almost got his big L to secure this game as it was. Chiefs still in it with a chance. It will be Gus. Not able to get the big touch they need. Hunter with no boost, can't do too much with it. Scrub, no boost either. Still gets it around Raziers, who now burns the rest of what they have. Still little resources. Oh no, Rez may have pushed too far forward. Hunter not quite fast enough to punish.
You keep saying it, just pushing too far forward, opening themselves up to plays where they have to go dashing back to the defense, and if anyone is set like Gus was earlier, it becomes almost a free goal. Gus has slowed it down this time. Speaking of, Raziers has time on it. Scrub has to go for the pre-jump. Gets beaten in the air, but gets the man. Gets the touch on the player. And now, completely open. Raziers has to get back. It's still trouble time as Fiber almost got the touch on. Once again, scrambling back off the corner. Raziers, does he get the double? Is it open? No.
No third member there yet, but with 20 seconds to go, Healthy Chiefs are going to have one more chance. A pass across the middle to Fiber, who slows it up. Past one, can't get past the second. Risky play, doesn't pay off. 10 seconds left. Power with possession. They're going to get it back to the blue side. Yummy. Last chance for the Chiefs here in Game 6.
Clutch defense from Power. Will they be able to clutch it out one last time as Fiber almost gets the bump? It goes nice and high. Still one little chance as Hunter can't get to that one. Power take it. We go to Game 7.
Here we go. The timeout buff leads to a 1-0 game, but realistically, both teams just putting not, how do I word this correctly? It felt like both teams were overextending in parts that were leaving them not looking complete and very difficult to score goals as an end result when you're only getting 1 or 2 shots before possession is changing. Power, they got that 1 goal. They get that 1 win.
Yeah, that being said, Power, when they were a little bit more set and they were facing a very rigorous attack coming out from Healthy Chiefs, they were very clutch. They were making saves, they were rotating quite well, they weren't double committing, so they could really continue that defensive effort going on and on. But the question is, under that pressure of a Game 7, is that the kind of game plan that you can really rely on? When your nerves are higher, you're able to avoid double committing and miscommunicating in the defense. Well, we're going to have to find out whether they continue that, or whether they get a much more or bigger early lead if they possibly can.
We'll see how it plays out in our first trip to Champions Field here to the 2025 season in Oceania. First just leaked that mark. As
almost another kickoff goal.
That would have been fitting for this series for how everything has gone, but it will be more of an established play this time around. Or will it? Gus' shot is going to get saved by Hunter.
Didn't have the boost. He just found himself on the way back for a fortunate pass, we will call. But early on, it's going to be about settling the nerves. A first goal could be very crucial for these two teams, and this is where the nerves truly do get the highest in a Game 7. One win, one mistake, and that can be all the difference.
And again, remembering what's at stake for these teams as Scrub can't put it through the Chiefs. It's an expectation, a justification for their import to establish themselves as still one of those top two teams, essentially, with the win here. But on that other side, Power, they can leave their mark saying, hey, we're here to compete for that Birmingham major as well. As the ball makes its way to the middle of the field, Fiber will get the beat. We'll get a free touch off the wall. The shot was there, but so too was the defense.
A lot of pressure going towards both ends. Now Razier's down to Fiber. Looking for the slow plays. Big bump. A bump on the way out as well. Rez with no boost, but they don't know and they don't commit to the attack. They can't afford to overcommit this time, the Chiefs.
I love that bump from Razier's, keeping the defense off balance, just allowing it an easier pathway for the Chiefs to maintain possession. Now a pass back to Razier's. Wants backboard. Rez is there. However, Hunter should get there first, was challenged. If they get another good touch, it could have opened the net. Instead, it kind of gets jammed in the corner. A lot of pressure for Power right now that they're withholding pretty well, but Chiefs keep pressuring, keep poking, keep prodding. Here comes the shot. It's not where it needed to be.
Well, they're focused on not overcommitting, but they are still willing to sort of risk it with one person going forward to make a try. A big guess on where the shot will go. A pre-jump out of the defender gets read by Fiber. He saw him go up early and manages to snipe the right-hand side of the net.
How you were able to pick your mark following that pre-jump with, there would be maybe 0.2 of a second to make that read and put that ball where it has to go. A kickoff goal on top, because why not? The Chiefs now have the 2-0 lead.
The kickoff goals have got to stop. The Power, they really can't afford it. It's another one that's been pinched over to Fiber. Another exact replay of Game 4. A 2-0 lead for the Chiefs. Power now find themselves in a dire situation. The old Power roster, they'd know what to do here. Are the less experienced ex-Kib gang players able to do the same?
We'll see what they can find. I mean, in theory, the experience should be there. They've all been in this position before, but with this iteration, this lineup, and against a team that realistically nobody has seen yet, Razier's adds another blow to put healthy Chiefs further away.
That's not even a risk from Razier's. He did push up close on Fiber's play, but as soon as the ball is floating out there, he is in a win-win situation. And I don't know what Power can do anymore. Chiefs looking like they're setting their tickets to the semifinals.
Yeah, this is a great start for a Game 7 for the healthy Chiefs. However, Power, they're still threatening. They'll fight to the end, that is for sure. Again, a guaranteed top 4 on the line for a win here. Something that both these teams would love to have as ball gets put to the side. Razier's now going to try to follow up. It's also the difference between 2 and 3 games being played tomorrow if you want to go the distance. And I have to admit, fatigue maybe not big as an issue as it would have been in past seasons, but it still would be nice.
3 best of 7s can be certainly quite a lot.
Oh.
Now Hunter getting on the board with the own goals. All 3 of them going the way of Chiefs. If anyone can claim like Quavy did earlier, that they were throwing because they felt bad, maybe it could be the Chiefs and their own goals.
Yeah, it could turn into a costly one, though. There's a big difference between 3 and a 2-goal lead. That don't go. I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened right there. Just a poor read. Maybe they weren't expecting the bounce like that. I don't know, but it felt
maybe
like
their monitor fell off, you know? You never know.
Accidentally turned it off. Sometimes your controller gets a little sticky, and then you kind of veer. Yeah, a lot of things could have happened, but the end result's the same. Only 2 goals needed for Power now to equalize, a minute and a half to do it.
And this is the chance right now, but once again, Gus not able to beat Hunter. The pre-jumps coming out from Chiefs have been doing wonders for them. And Raziers, he's just continuing to hound the defense, preventing them from getting any kind of touch out.
It's been so disruptive after those first touches. Again, just making every defensive touch, every defensive clear that much more difficult. This looks like a 3v2, Yummy, but Fiber isn't able to take advantage of it. They don't need to. A minute remaining, Power. It's time to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this goal. Are they able to find it? Razier says no.
Oh, there was a bump in the midfield that maybe prevented the third follow-up from Rez that could have conceded the goal in the end. Chiefs take it down to the other end. They love to keep the pressure on. Don't give any room over to Power to hold on to this 2-goal lead. Once again, on the attack. But here's the counter. Gus just needs to get the bump. It goes the other way. The shot wasn't even on target in the end.
Oh, but Trump will find redemption off the backboard just under the crossbar. And with 21 seconds to go, with kickoffs being what they are, Yummy, Power has a chance.
I can't believe Scrub gets the full boost, collects it on the ground, dribbles it up the wall as well as he did. A very smooth operator. Is that going to be enough? Well, the kickoff from Chiefs, so smart to put it over the top of their heads.
Yeah, still though, that's a long shot. Fiber is back, but with 10 seconds, Power's got one more chance. Through the corner. They're looking to set up more middle of the field. Gus was too far forward, though, and it's a desperation play. Demo makes it a 3v2, but there's no one in a good spot till Rez gets there. 0 seconds. Last chance, Hunter trying to control it on 0 boost. Ball gets away from them, and Strom lets it drop. The Chiefs win in Game 7.
He tried to put it up the wall and take it himself. It's just put a little whisper onto the ground, and that's enough. Chiefs in Game 7 make it through to the semifinals. But boy, was this a much closer series than we thought.
Wow. Yeah, not exactly the expectation going into that series, but what a series that was. Maybe, you know, the Power roster, they've been together for a little while, the old Kip Gang roster and Chiefs, maybe a little bit of growing pains, some pop-off moments from both teams, but what a series that was.
I just like the way the series evolved. Like at first, you know, no defense, all aggression, goals being scored nonstop. But then as the team settled, we really got to kind of see more of their identities flourish and what they're actually about. And yeah, Power, I guess, might be that half tier below. But at that same token, when you're going 7 games, are they really that half tier below, or are they just, you know, going to find that way up sooner than we might think?
I mean, if you're 1.5 tier, as I said, you are able to beat, you know, any of the top team, the teams above, but you're not going to consistently do it. Now, there has been a bit of controversy here. A lot of people in chat calling for VAR on that one, a little bit of video review, but we're going to deny it. I'm sorry. You guys have all played Rocket League. You know that 99% in is not in. You've all played that exact same shot and had it touch the ground. You got to take it up with Epic Games if you want anything to change.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, we're going to the scoreboard. No try. It says no try. Sorry, not happening.
Jaden's our third umpire, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely looking super close there. Almost kept it up. Almost looking dangerous for Power, but nonetheless, the Chiefs have taken that win. We are 3 series down. We have 1 to go. It is our other top bracket series of the night. We have Wildcard versus TSM up next. Don't go anywhere.
Activate. Activate.
It's the final match of Super Saturday here for the Birmingham Open event number 1. And a great way for teams to start off and kick off their chance for RLCS 2025 glory. Is this the first time we're going to be making the top 8 in a long time? Formal Morgie, is that going to happen this season?
I believe so. I mean, we already got the hints of it before with, the Chiefs lineup that was sent. Yeah, it might not have been RLCS, but there is that part of me, Morgie, that still feels like I've been saying that every season I've been able to cast this. But this is the one. This is the one. I believe this is the one.
I mean, I don't blame you. We've seen some potential, and you got to have a little bit of faith. I think that there is definitely a chance. We've got some big orgs who have come into the scene as well, supporting the teams. We know how much of a difference that can make for the teams themselves. So who knows? This could be the season.
Well, if you guys want the preview of what Birmingham could look like, there you go. I got you, Rapids. We have our team that was undefeated through all of last season, took every single event in Wildcard now, X-Power, up against TSM, who took out all the off-season events leading up to this one. So this is a powerhouse matchup here. These could be the two teams that we're taking overseas as well. And while I'm not expecting them to gel 100% to begin with, I'm expecting some fireworks.
Yeah, I'm definitely expecting to see some improvement as well, particularly from the TSM side. Again, yes, they are kind of coming in as that projected number 2 team, the real offseason winners, Morgie, as it were, but it was a 3-0 sweep against the Healthy Chiefs, who we saw, barely get past power just before. Is that a point of concern?
I think it's definitely a point of concern. I was going to say that it's really hard to tell, obviously, so early on in the season when we're coming back to RLCS. RLCS is so much more pressure than off-season tournaments, but TSM, they just weren't looking too hot yesterday. And you're right, they were swept by the Chiefs. Chiefs, obviously, just then going against Power, that was a really tight series. It's really hard to pick these teams right now. I would say that wildcard, I'm pretty confident in this team being that top seed. But second, third, fourth, it's really hard to pick right now.
And Yummy and I before were talking about in that last series, like the tiers and where these teams go. And there's a talk of Powers, maybe that half a tier below. I still am not convinced that wildcard isn't that half a tier above Amphasis for a shot. We'll go a little bit wide, but until this team loses, this roster loses a domestic event, they are the final boss. They are the raid bars. They are OCE's best hope at a top 8 in an RLCS major. And I mean, first, obviously, they have to get back there, and we'll see what kind of form they're in today. This is the team everybody wants to dethrone.
No, I definitely tend to agree. Funny enough, I was actually talking about this defense. Hello, where are you? I was talking about this with my partner Jimmy earlier, but yeah, I would agree that wildcard does sit that half tier above. then I would put TSM, I would put our Chiefs in that kind of second, third. Maybe Power is that half tier below, but that is the top 4 for me. I wasn't surprised that those teams ended up being our top 4 seeds. 5th, 6th, 7th. That's harder to pick. I think Walk-in Fridge is that kind of tier below. You know, as we talked earlier, those bubble teams, there is a couple of levels to the bubble teams as well. There, I think, is a fairly clear 5th, 6th, 7th, and then 8th and below is kind of harder to pick as well.
And going back just real quick to that first goal that we saw as well, though, and reasons maybe why TSM might be that half tier below. I was talking to Monty last night a bit about, you know, TSM strengths and weaknesses, and because he was the caster for their series, and it was over-aggression. And we saw that again off that opening kickoff. We've been seeing that a few times with a lot of our top teams. Everybody on OCE, it feels like this season, this is the year of all attack, all gas, no brakes. And so far, haven't been living up to that mantra. Big demo, middle of the field, might set up Banana Head with boost. Look how open the net looks. It's going to be a 2-0 lead.
What control from Banana Head as well to speed up, to slow down and speed up at the right moments here. The bump on Super Lucky from Fever, just taking him out of the play. Banana Head able to secure that second goal there, but well, I do tend to agree. It's word of the night, right? The word of the night, or the word of the season so far is aggression. It is a question of how many teams are trying to kind of match that play style that this wildcard X-Power roster had last season and how successful it made them. But the other teams just haven't caught up yet on mastering.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see where they pick it up. I mean, for me, I also want to see, you know, some of these hyper-aggressive teams show that strength on both sides of the ball. And, I mean, if there's anyone who was doing it last season, again, I look at this lineup, Banana Head, Fever, and Torsos. I mean, we talked about them so much last season, Morgie, and realistically, playstyle-wise, we expect a lot more almost of the same. You have your two bludgers in Torsos and Banana Head, disruptive attacking forces, creating avenues, creating lanes. Super Lucky with the bump, though, will find Kaka, and TSM gets back on the board.
Taking Fever out of the play here, making sure that... Oh, no, sorry, it was... Yes, sorry. Making sure Fever can't get to the ball in time to make that save. Definitely that aggression starting to come out from TSM as well.
Yeah, starting to come through, and we'll see what they can find. Fever will clear that one across the middle of the field. Super Lucky underneath can only get a slight touch. We'll see where Kaka can go with the ball off the roof. Torsos able to stay behind it. And 2 minutes to go for TSM to find that goal. Now, you know, this is nearly looking like it's going to be there, not quite. When you look at this lineup, though, Morgie, Super Lucky, Kaka, Amphis, where's your thoughts kind of going with this lineup? Like, who are we looking at to be that big playmaker, that carrying force, or is it really a, you know, King Ghidorah triple head situation?
Oh, I mean, to me, I feel like the standout player at times when he's having a good day, or the kind of the flashier player on this roster, I tend to lean a little bit more towards Super Lucky. I feel like Kaka hasn't been as consistent recently as we've seen him in prior seasons, and maybe same goes for Amphis. That goal yesterday, the final goal of the series against Chiefs, you know the goal I'm talking about right here, right now, technically credited to Amphis as an own goal. Again, our theme of the night, we're seeing plenty of own goals at the moment, but that one was just, that was their defense pushing up way too far. Amphis was supposed to be that third man, not kind of performing his role properly and ultimately sending that goal into his own net. It's just not the play I'm expecting out of them, but I think Super Lucky is that player that should be making a difference on this roster.
I mean, Super Lucky definitely has those pop-off moments, like pop-off event moments, and I guess a big thing for me when I look at Super Lucky and Super Lucky's game, domestically more than proven enough, has always kind of been there, but still kind of waiting for that translate to the international success as well. And we were talking about, you know, is this the year we finally get the top 8 with Yummy before coming into this one? If Super Lucky is on a lineup to be able to do it, that's like realistically the only thing Super Lucky has left to prove. What a lot of OCE players have left to prove. But I think obviously the skill is there, just needs to translate. You have to get to that dance first, but you know that's going to be a driving motivational force for a player as determined as he is.
Absolutely. 5 seconds on the clock now. Wildcard holding out strong, not allowing TSM to get a second goal on the board. A block there puts it back into TSM's corner of their defense. We're going to have this clock run down 2-0 seconds. Wildcard have taken game 1.
Yeah, wild card will, take the first game. Did it look the cleanest? Well, outside of that one goal against them, it did feel like wild card was largely in control. I'm actually a little bit surprised, Morgie. We had a couple moments of TSM over aggressiveness, but outside of that, very kind of, business as usual game, dare I say, from both sides.
I think TSM have maybe learnt their lesson from yesterday. I'm hoping it was just an off day. It happens to all teams. It didn't happen to Wildcard last season, but it happens to all teams typically. I will say that. I think that's why I'm convinced that Wildcard is that half tier above as well. But TSM seem to have learnt their lesson from yesterday. They're not being that hyper aggressive. They're being a little bit more controlled. They're realizing that maybe they're not that top dog when in comparison to the Chiefs, when in comparison to Wildcard, even Power. I think that would be a really interesting game given what we just saw. But it's the start of season. It's really hard to tell how these teams are gelling in the new season, what they've done in the off season, in that 6 months to prepare. So they're kind of finding their feet at the moment, kind of putting their feelers out for the other rosters. But I expect we'll see a little bit more consistency as the season progresses.
It should be worth noting as well that the loser of this series, obviously is not eliminated, but will have to go up against I Love Stabby tomorrow for their first match. And the reason why I think that's interesting, I Love Stabby is the team that, could also possibly, crack some top fours and maybe make a deep run on a good day. Like they're kind of that. I know you said 5, 6, 7 might be their own sort of tier bubble. If any team is going to crack out of it, it would probably either be them, maybe Oi. I'd lean a bit more on Stabby. So it's not like, whoever loses this match is going to have that easy road to bounce back in.
I mean, I can see it for a series here and there, but, as you said just before, this game right here, we haven't seen anything special in this first game. It's business as usual, particularly for Wildcard. We haven't seen them do anything special just yet, and the fact that they've still taken the win against TSM and are looking to continue that in the rest of the series. It takes a good day at the moment for a team like I Love Strawberry to get a win in a series over these top teams. But these top teams playing their average day are going to get the win 9 times out of 10.
Oh man, Fever with just enough pressure to draw 2 defenders into that corner helps set up that pass and the late touch by Torsos to ice the deal. There's your 1-0 lead. But it is interesting, how we're talking about this too, because I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways when you look at OCE's meta, it's Fever flicks the kickoff goal in. Fair enough. When you look at OCE's meta, so much of it was defined by this lineup we're seeing right now. I'm wondering how much they've adapted and how much they've changed over the offseason, if that makes sense. Like this wildcard lineup did not have a team stream over, throughout the qualifier. So this is our first real look at them. How much have they changed? Are they still trying to run business as usual and trying to say we do this better? Or do they have more tricks up their sleeve? That's the big question for me.
I would love to see that play out, and definitely something to keep an eye on. There's a part of me that thinks, when you're a team that go undefeated for an entire season, they went a couple of games here and there, but nothing major. They won everything. Why would you change that up? But in saying that, with a team like this, that the mentality that a lot of these top teams have is to always get better, is to always progress. Because if you're caught lacking, some other team is going to catch up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a few more tricks up the sleeve, maybe just some more mechanics developed and that kind of thing. But play style wise, I would expect maybe roughly the same.
See, I'm kind of hoping, though, we do see a bit more innovation, because in order to stay at the top, right, you can't, in theory, you can't just do the same thing forever. People will catch up. People will learn. We're seeing that with how a lot of these teams have been playing already this year. So I am curious, do they innovate to stay that one step ahead? Where will they wind up? So far, I mean, they're 2 goals ahead in this one, the kickoff goal giving that extra bit of cushion. And realistically, I mean, we've seen TSM just struggle to get past that midfield line. Maybe this pass will help. Amphis puts the shot on, and it's a 1-goal game.
TSM not wanting to go down without a fight, that's for sure. Nice little pass from Amphis to Kaka, back to Amphis as well. Torsos facing backwards, 0 boost in the tank, doesn't know who to defend in that moment. And that's how dangerous passing plays can be. That is something that makes these rosters, both of these rosters, so incredible. You've got players on both teams who are so mechanically gifted and can go for those incredible solo plays, but also know the right moments to pick when to look for a pass.
We'll see what more they can find with 2:20 left on the clock. Fever. I'll try to play off of Torsos's bump. That was such a premature pump from Torsos right there, Morgie, but that's just the kind of style you know, that this wildcard roster is going to play like. I mean, Torsos, one of the oldest players in the region. The man's already collecting his super, picking out his retirement home eventually, and yet still is one of the most physical and aggressive out there.
I love that. And I wouldn't expect any less from a player like Torsos. I think if I were to pick a couple of aggressive bumping players in the region, Torsos is definitely right up there. Going to collect a goal for himself as well and put Wildcard up with a 2-goal buffer.
That is a 3-1 lead. Look, just to continue on Torsos, all right? Normally I don't talk car design. I don't talk the aesthetics, despite the fact I think the TSM one looks really, really cool. Torsos might be the first person using a topper I've ever seen in the OCE, like, top 4.
Hang on, I need to get a closer look.
He's got the sunnies!
He's... Oh my god, I didn't even notice that! I don't think I've ever seen a topper in...
Yeah, not in RLCS!
Why? Okay, we're talking changing tactics. There it is. Toppers are the new meta. What? But why the sunglasses? Where's this come from?
I don't know, but you know what? Hey, because he's cool, all right? It might be dark outside, it might be indoors. The sunnies come on. That's how slick I am. And hey, making it work. 3-1 lead, possibly 4 shots on target, but not in.
Okay, along the same vein of conversation, I get we're slightly off topic with the game here, but some advice I was given a while back when I was wanting to train in Scrim, and I still am, but when one of the first pieces of advice I was given was to change my car, was to make it super basic, just like the pros. You know, it's not a, what's the word for it? It's not a, I can't think of the word. I'm blanking. That it does actually have an impact. It's not just a thing that people saying it doesn't have an impact.
It's the mental reset, right? It's the reset, refocus.
But I was told to take toppers off, make my decal really simple, you know, just the typical basic stock Dane essentially kind of car. And I don't know if it actually makes a difference or not, but his Torsos pulled out the toppers. Placebo, that's it. Thank you. I don't know why I could not English right then. But placebo. I don't know if it's a placebo. I don't know if it's real, but his Torsos with the toppers.
Yeah, well, apparently Chad says that they've been using toppers all the time and we're just blind and never noticed them. So fair enough if that's the case. I don't believe it. I notice everything, all right? I am always alert and on the ball. No one knows ball like I do. Torsos 50, not going to go their way. Fever goes up. Super Lucky's challenge, not going to work out. And it's going to be 2 wins in a row for Wildcard as they are just looking like that more dominant team.
Absolutely looking like that tier above. That's for sure. And I will admit I haven't noticed it either. I swear I haven't seen any toppers in the past. I'll admit, with casting, I can yap. Am I a perceptive person? Do I notice things like that? No. But I'm still pretty confident that that's the first time I've seen one. Regardless, anyway, I'll stop about the toppers. Wildcard up 4-1 in that game. Dominant performance. They're looking really good. They're looking for the sweep in this one for them.
I mean, they're looking so good that TSM is going to use their timeout right now to try to get themselves a bit more reset because after all, Morky, I mean, it's not really been the greatest start for them. Yes, the first game was only a 1-goal difference, but only 2 goals scored in the 2 games combined with Wildcard starting to pull away. Torsos, we just saw that MVP in the last one, being that disruptive, aggressive force. And we've still really yet to see, you know, Banana Head have his pop-off plays. Fever did a lot of great stuff on the setup there as well. I mean, it still feels like in a lot of ways this Wildcard team is warming up. TSM, maybe they'll get that timeout buff. Maybe they'll get themselves back on pace. They kind of need to. Going 3 games down against, you know, the raid boss of OCE is not a place they want to be in.
No, definitely not. And looking at the stats as well for that game, we did have TSM with only 2 shots on the board compared to, from memory, I think I remember seeing 12 shots, I think, from Wildcard. Obviously more goals converted as well, but they're just sending shot after shot at TSM's defense. TSM unable to respond in the same way.
We'll see what they're going to be able to bring as we get geared up for this next game. Obviously, still a lot of time left in this series, but if they lose this one, it could be an awkward situation where TSM will have gone, you know, back-to-back against, you know, our prospective top teams and come up really short, actually, surprisingly short. I think they need to take at least a couple games at this stage, even if they wind up losing this series for their own sort of morale going into Super Sunday. Granted, they had that extra life, so anything can happen. They could look immaculate tomorrow, but for today, this is a very big game for the orange side.
Exactly, wanting to stay alive in this, not wanting this to go to match point, that is for sure. TSM looking to cause a bit of a stir against this wildcard roster. Banana Head with a shot straight off the bat though, and again, word of the night, aggression. TSM just pushing up a little bit too high on this rotation. Lockie went a little bit wide. Ampus, the second man, was right there with Kaka. I don't think Super Lockie had realized that they didn't have control of the ball. 0 boost in the tank, can't get back to goal in time. We're 12 seconds in and already wildcard are on the board.
VOD review is looking to be a painful process for TSM with how many times they're going to be watching similar plays of just, you know, a little bit of an overextend, a good touch right back down the middle, and a goal almost needlessly conceded. It's just been on repeat, unfortunately, for this orange side. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see not Power, still got to get used to it, to see Wildcard as the team to punish them in those situations. But you know what? Power's going to punish them if it continues. The Chiefs are going to punish them if this continues. I mean, I think that's a relevant statement.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what it is, because like we were talking about before, TSM looked so good in the off season. Obviously, taking out that off-season opens win was huge for them. They took down the Chiefs, they took down other rosters. Torsos with another goal. What is with TSM's defense right now?
Yeah, just a double commit across the middle. Torsos with the beat on no boost, my bad. Okay, maybe there was like 12, but just wins the 1v2, and then it's green field, open net. Goals for the taking. TSM. This is after a timeout buff as well, Morgie. This is not the TSM I think a lot of people were hoping to see so far.
This is uncharacteristic of this roster, and it makes me a little concerned for them, Paul, because looking at the top 8 teams we had, my thoughts were, like I said, wildcard sitting above. I did think that Chiefs were that maybe step or that challenge for TSM.
Oh my.
But Maui Power was that little bit below, but right now it's looking like TSM are not sitting where they should be. A goal on the board for Fever as well. 3 goals up for Wildcard. This is looking so bad for TSM.
All right, I'm going to give them a little bit of slack for that one. Banana Head avoiding the bump to set up that double was disgusting. Like, that was a slick Banana Head play to force all that pressure. And I'm a little bit surprised they didn't finish the deal. Yeah, Super Lucky was back on defense, but I don't think there was much he could do to stop Banana Head in that kind of form. So I'm going to say that goal, much more on Wildcard.
Absolutely, but that's the first that we've had this game that I would say is as a result of Wildcard creating the opportunity rather than TSM just unforced errors and allowing Wildcard to capitalize off mistakes like that. But Fever now with the ball in the midfield is dribbling, looking for the pass down to Banana Head. Kaka there to beat him out though, can't get the shot on target either.
Not going to get it this time, but we are going to kind of wrap ourselves back around in the corner. Torsos. Yeah, an ill-fated challenge from Super Lucky. This time Kaka, though, was there, middle of the field. That could have been bad. Still might be, because there's not a lot of boost back there. The reset from Banana Head. Desperation save from Lucky. Bumps now. Physicality coming from the wildcard side as they're trying to punch their way around. Fever to Banana Head. They don't make connections.
Miss from Banana Head. Not what they were wanting right there. A massive shot down from Torsos to spike that into the net. Missed as well. Pass to Fever, a save from Kaka. There's a lot of action happening at the moment, and he's just sitting there in net, ready to backflip into this touch from Kaka. Pass it straight to Fever. What?
Right. I've been trying to be glass half full, Morgie. I really have. About this TSM side. That glass was all empty off that touch. Really unfortunate from Kaka right there. In the worst case scenario, and now game 3 is looking out of reach.
What do you mean empty? The glass is shattered at this point, Formal. What is happening? That was a pass straight to Fever. Not even Fever expected it. All he had to do was backflip into that one and put them up by another goal. They're keeping TSM out of this game. 0 goals on the board. I don't know what's happening right now.
I don't even know how you get that angle. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how that even happened.
If Kaka was on the opposite side, that's the coolest pass
Yes.
I've seen in this tournament so far. Unfortunately, Kaka was not on the right team for that one.
Unlucky. Unlucky. GG go next. Reverse sweep time, maybe. That's what TSM's got to be thinking. Wild card right now, though. Obviously in control, still proving why they are that top team. I mean, you still have to be in position to punish, right? You still have to be there to take advantage of those situations. And to Wildcard's credit, they have done that every single time. And that's not something we could say about every team in this region. However, that being said, I mean, yeah, TSM, if this series continues the way it's going, they're very fortunate they're going to have another day to regroup, refocus, and come at tomorrow looking a lot stronger, because this sort of top 3 projection that they have, it's a little bit under question right now.
It's definitely under question right now. I'm very, very lucky to have that extra life thanks to the format of this tournament. They do have that extra buffer going into tomorrow. They make it through no matter what if they do end up losing this series, or if they reverse sweep and they put themselves in a better position, but it's not looking great.
All right, Morgie, going back to our conversation, back at the first game of the day. Would you be all of a sudden the most impressed with TSM despite the start of the series and this goal if they get that reverse sweep?
Well, okay, with the context, no. With the context, no matter, there's a part of me that thinks, okay, let me rephrase. I've actually worked out how to reframe this now. I'm most impressed with a reverse sweep when, if this was Wildcard winning, if Wildcard were up by 3 games because they had been insanely great, because they had been hitting the craziest shots, the mech was through the roof, and TSM were losing every game by 1 goal, then the reverse sweep is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. Not off the back of this one, though. Not like this.
We'll see how those games go. I'd say the jury would be in the air because, let's be honest, last hurdle, it's known to be the hardest, although no team has done it quite as many times as this wildcard lineup. We'll see how they perform. 0 seconds left on the clock. Kaka's just going to put one more towards the net. Won't find its way in. Ball doesn't hit the ground just yet, and eventually it will. So wildcard will take game number 3, 1 game away from a sweep, and what would be back-to-back sweeps against this TSM lineup.
That would be a feat indeed for Wildcard, and a very good way of them making a statement to say that they are #1 seed for a reason. At this point, it's looking likely this has been chaos of a series, to put it at the least. But Wildcard are absolutely wanting to take this away in 4 games, run away with it as quickly as they can, going into tomorrow with as much momentum as they can.
Again, one of the greatest things, though, about the game of Rocket League is that it is a reset every 5 minutes, right? You are able to regroup, you are able to refocus, and you are able to get back in it. The reverse sweep, one of the toughest tasks a team can pull off, especially against a team that has been undefeated for over a year. I think they dropped 1 series in Swiss once last year, if I'm not mistaken. That was it. They won every single regional.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah, a team that has won every single regional. 2024, they never lost a regional event. They might lose a game here, but it would have to be a reverse sweep to do it. We'll see how Wildcard looks on match point. We'll see what TSM can do with their back against the wall. 5 more minutes on the clock, Morgie, as we kick off game number 4.
Looking good for Wildcard indeed, as Amphis almost with the kickoff there. Massive shout out to Tins in chat as well before I saw a call out for looking for some exciting own goals this game. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some, but right out of the bat, 13 seconds in, Torsos capitalizes off a corner bounce here, manages to get it over both Kaka and Amphis, and Wildcard again with the lead.
So was Amphis going for a fake in that situation? Because it looked like Amphis had the read on the corner, pulled off last second, maybe hoping Kaka would be there, and maybe that would throw off Torsos. Not sure if that was a miscommunication, poor call, or if Amphis just missed it. I mean, I think they're trying to do anything to disrupt the attack right now from Wildcard, be that risky fakes, be that, late touches. Didn't work out on the opening goal, fair enough, we'll see what happens now. TSM actually a little bit on the attack momentarily until 50 goes back against them, and you can see already pushing down is Fever, ready for it. It doesn't matter the situation. I mean, Wildcard is still going to be that aggressive team looking for cheese forward, looking for breakaway moments. Oh no, Kaka got in the way of the shot.
Super lucky, little boost in the tank, having to make a bit of a stretch to save that one. After that stretch though, 0 boost in the tank, can't do anything about this. Torsos is on fire right now with these angles.
Yeah, Torsos. You know, every offseason you always hear the rumblings, oh, Torsos is retiring, he's done, too old, send him off. He has come out today, I'd argue, as the MVP of the series so far. I mean, super aggressive, finding the angles, finding the touches. He always has to prove if he still has it, and it feels like he rises to the challenge every single year.
I love that. It's always about the younger players. It's always about the young guns, the young new mechie players with their quick reflexes, and it's never about the old ones. I feel like even last year in total, I feel like on that old power roster, the player I heard most about in conversations was always Banana Head. It was Banana Head this, Banana Head that. Obviously, Fever being a long-standing MVP as well. Torsos is not to say that Torsos isn't an incredible player. He's been on this roster for a good while for a reason, but he's absolutely proving himself today to be that top dog right now.
Yeah, he is definitely having a fantastic series, and one you would hope to expect from him. That's not to take anything away from Fever and Banana Head as well. Again, Wildcard is a scary roster. The King Ghidorah of OCE, Kaka, actually going to take advantage of the demo, and that will lead to a goal. So a bit of a demo down the middle play does keep TSM within striking distance.
Not out of it just yet. One player left back in defense for Wildcard. Third man as it probably should be, but the demo going to take him out. Super lucky, being that little bit more aggressive, getting those demos, maybe what TSM is needing right now to stay in this.
We'll see what they can find. The pressure comes immediately off the kickoff, courtesy of Wildcard, but not able to do too much with it after that. Amphis wants Super Lucky. It's another midfield pass. This time, though, no bump, no demo. Fever will find the clear and find Banana Head on the opposite corner. There's the shot, another angle from Torsos. This one doesn't hit its mark, but it being a one-goal game, shots not going in quite as easily for Wildcard. Keeping TSM in it, but they got to get out of their own back half.
Kaka now in the corner with Banana Head, trying to take the ball off him. Banana Head does manage to keep control until the block from Super Lucky.
Whoa.
Fever bumped as well, gets taken wildly off the ball in that moment. Kaka sending it upfield to Super Lucky. Banana Head just able to get back in time for that save.
So Banana Head starts that play off looking like they're actually going to challenge all the way towards the backboard. Makes the slight adjustment, seeing that pass play develop. That was an insane micro adjustment for enable Banana Head to get back there. It's those little things that make it so difficult to score against teams like Wildcard. Because yes, they play fast, yes, they play forward, but I think out of all of these hyper-aggressive teams, Wildcard is the best at rotating back and disrupting the follow-up shot.
You're right with that one. Torsos now in the air, low boost in the tank, gets blocked by Amphis, coming off the roof, no boost as well, sends it down to Kaka. Fever grabs that boost pad before Kaka can make it to it. Either pass off to Super Lucky, looking for the double, goes off the backboard just a little bit too high. Torsos collects, taking it back down the field.
Fever's demo on Amphis as well stopped any sort of follow-up shots, and what? Banana Head, perfect angle, it's a 2-goal game.
Perfect angle indeed. All the boosts used just to get to that one. Amphis can't make it back in time for that save either. Right in the bottom left corner of the net. Wildcard just have to hold on for a minute left of this game. They've got a 2-goal buffer. I feel like at this point it's going to be, I don't think they're going to slow down a whole lot, but they're comfortable. They know that if need be, they can park the bus a little bit.
We'll see where they go. Amphis can't get across that midfield line. Fever from underneath has to read. Clock the friend of Wildcard as they watch it whittle down. Desperation hours for TSM. Fever off the roof towards the backboard. There's Torsos to put this series away. Not going to find the goal yet, but TSM has to take advantage. Kaka with the reset can only go towards the backboard. They got the bump, but the ball's in the wrong spot.
Bump, definitely the right move in that situation, but nonetheless, defense able to adapt and get back in time. Another long shot again. Who's it from? None other than Torsos in this game. Defense just caught sleeping a little bit here. Pushed up way too fast. Super Lucky cannot get back in time. It's looking like GG's formal.
Monty is in shambles. Wherever you are, man, take care of yourself. It has just not been TSM's day.
Monty.
It has not been their weekend so far, but fortunately, they'll still have one more chance. More fortunately, though, for Wildcard, the undefeated regional champion, 6-time defending champs. Well, they're continuing their campaign in fantastic fashion here in the top 8. They're getting themselves the 4-0 sweep, and Wildcard will be our second team to go straight to the semifinal.
Out of all series tonight, that looking at these at the start of the night, which game's gonna be a sweep, which game's gonna be a tight game.
Morgie,
I would not have picked this one as a sweep.
you told me no sweeps. Every game you called was a sweep. Yummy, this isn't acceptable.
I've been on 3 sweeps tonight.
Yeah, well, this is a classic Morgie. She always ruins every show with her predictions and ends up. I can't remember what you did last season, but you made it. I think last season you made them all game 5s or something. So
my very first cast, every series went to full length. Every game had overtime. There was like an 8-9 minute overtime in one game, and I was like, this is casting. I don't know about this now.
I like that Morgie better. I like that one back.
What an absolute demolition, though. I mean, Wildcard were the 6 times undefeated champs for a reason. It's proven that, maybe if they played in the off-season, that they could have been the one taking the wins. And, the synergy's still there. That wasn't even close in in any way whatsoever. So they're certainly continuing as the team to beat.
Yeah, and Yummy, I'm going to post the same question I posed to Morgie now to you, though. This is TSM now being swept by the Healthy Chiefs yesterday, swept by Wildcard today. I mean, how concerned are you right now? Like, is TSM, were we too quick to kind of put them in that upper echelon?
I mean, no, they're still in the top 3. Now, the real question is, are they going to be able to bounce back tomorrow against, maybe the Chiefs, for example, to secure back into the top 2, which is going to be the big point. Because obviously right now they've fallen down to number 3, and number 3 is not good enough for Birmingham.
No, it's not. Tough region. You got to be in the top 2, and that's sort of the expectation, I'd say, for all the top 4 teams. Even Power, their expectations to be that top 2 as well. So Morgie, I know you're probably not going to be with us tomorrow, which means we got to hear your prediction now. Who's going to be going? Who's going to be taking it?
Who's winning entirely?
Yeah, everything. I want every single prediction you have.
I feel like at this point, if I said anything other than Wildcard, I would get yelled at by both of you. I feel like it's pretty undeniable at this point. I would yell at me for that
yelled at you
one.
once, mate.
No, you haven't. But I feel like you would have reason to if I said anyone other than Wildcard is going to win this one. I would be mad at me if I said that. I think it's pretty undeniable at this point. I do have a quick question, actually, and I know, unfortunately, we're not going to see it, but if this was a TSM v Power game, how do we think that would go at this point?
Well, I think based on just the outcome of how dominant this was, and we didn't really get to see anything from TSM, I think you have to go Power, but, logically, based on what I would expect, you'd go with TSM.
Yeah, it's a question of form today versus projected form. I'm going to go with form today, though. So just to be a little contrarian, I'd give it to Power. I mean, I haven't seen from TSM this roster yet in the RLCS setting. They haven't proven themselves yet. And I think Power, even though they didn't win that series going 7, they proved something to me today.
And this is how the results lie. As long as Morgie is not telling everyone that everything is not going to be a perfect sweep, then we'll be all fine for tomorrow. But tomorrow we will have, we'll be starting off with the OCE versus Power and TSM versus I Love Strawberry matches. With OCE and TSM being teams that are close to the top, they're the ones that maybe be able to cause the upsets. And obviously, they'll go on to verse the Chiefs and the wild card in important matches. Getting to that grand final, when you have 2 slots in Birmingham, that is key.
Yeah, it's all about getting, again, those top 2 points, trying to withstand that spot. And hey, winning an event gives you that extra step further as well. Wild card, maybe a little bit more to play for. Still undefeated, essentially, since the start of last year. They'd hate to slip up on the first regional in 2025.
Oh, definitely. They'd want to be keeping that streak going. It's more than just the points on the line. It's reputation at this point. They've done so well. How long can they hold on to that streak? And ultimately, I feel like it becomes a question of eventually who's going to take them down.
Well, that will be the story for the rest of the weekend and the story for tomorrow. That's going to be starting at, 5 p.m. for the very first match. We'll be live a little bit before then, with maybe a new caster joining us tomorrow as well. So thank you today, Morgie, for joining us, and of course Formal as well. And thank you all to you guys at home. We'll see you all 5 p.m. tomorrow.
I've been thinking about your love tonight. 2 hearts gonna make our worlds collide, baby. I just wanna be the one to treat you right. 2-step with me, baby, slide, slide. I've been thinking about your love tonight. 2 hearts gonna make our worlds collide, baby. I just wanna be the one to treat you right. 2-step with me, baby, slide, slide. I've been thinking about your love tonight. I just wanna be the one to treat you right. I've been thinking about your love tonight. 2 hearts gonna make our worlds collide, baby. I just wanna be the one to treat you right. 2-step in, baby, slide, slide.
When I hear it coming up like that, I just know that things are gonna end bad. When my body only moves for the beat, you've been waiting for me. I'll just keep dropping it, like there's no stopping it. Then walk with it, la 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 la. I'll just keep dropping it, like there's no stopping it. Then walk with it, la 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 la. I'll just keep dropping it, like there's no stopping it. Then walk with it, la 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 la. I'll just keep dropping it, like there's no stopping it. Then walk with it, la 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 la. When I hear it coming up like that, I just know that things are gonna end bad. When my body only moves for the beat, you've been waiting for me. I'll just keep dropping it, like there's no stopping it. Then walk with it, la 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 la. I'll just keep dropping it,